You got to have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor. Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you could feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
And welcome to episode 392 of Sports on the Hill podcast. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got a live Caps game with just about 9 minutes left in the third period. The Caps have put up 29 shots on goal to Columbus Blue Jackets 20 shots. But where it matters most, they are outscored them 5-1. In just a minute, I'll let Gil do a scoring recap of this since he's watched it much more closely. I was putting my kids to bed. But in tonight's episode of Sports on the Hill podcast, we are joined by the PowerPlay Point podcast duo of Anna Knox, the return of Anna Knox, and Gil. We're also joined by C4, a regular on this show, on the Securum Off the Chains, and also on the PowerPlay Point podcast as well. We will discuss Caps in an extra long segment tonight. We'll focus primarily on the back-to-back epic wins with a crazy amount of goals. Shout out to Gil for a lot of goal videos. We will go through all of those shortly while we talk about the third period and how this game has gone. And then in an hour or two, we'll say goodbye to Anna, but we will continue the conversation with C4 and Gil, and we will talk about the live game that they went to this week, and also take a look at the upcoming week's schedule as well. So a little bit of a kind of an analysis of the Capitals as a whole as we head into Thanksgiving break, and since it's a bye week for the Commanders, I thought we could focus a little bit more on them. Now, I know Anna Knox is very closely watching her football as well. They are playing on Monday Night Football right now. Anna, what is the current score in that game?
Oh my gosh, I want to say it's 7-3.
7-3. There you go. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in across all the different platforms. We are live on Twitch, Kick. We're also on YouTube, where you can find me at youtube.com/Robbie Gross. You can find all of my videos. We're on the road to 700 videos on that channel, which is kind of insane. And we're also on the road to 400 episodes of this podcast. We're at 392. So been a fun night. We're also going to cover the Raw in hour 2. It's been an exciting night on Monday Night Raw. We'll have Champ and Sith give their take as we lead into an important weekend with the next PLE coming up. But big week in hockey, big week in football. We'll also end the show with Champ and I talking about all the NFL action from this past week, as well as live updates from that 49ers game, and then we will preview next week's games as well. So, why back on noise from the TV?
Get 0% APR for 60 months.
Oh, see, this is why it's good to have listeners. Thank you. So Monumental Sports had frozen, and when I reset it, it brought the audio from that. So thank you for letting us know about that. So it's important to have listeners in the live stream. We've got a bot on YouTube, anyway, so that's always fun. An unfriendly bot, I should say. I have friendly bots on stream as well, with score updates and stuff like that, which we will give live scoring updates throughout the night. All right, with that, Gil, I want you, first of all, how are you doing tonight? And then after that, let us know how we got to 5-1.
Doing great, Robbie. Thanks as always for having us. Yeah, it was well, it started out it's looked like one of those kind of grinded out games, and then second period, towards the end of the second period, yeah, it was they smacked the glass ketchup bottle enough so that a whole lot came pouring out is the best way I can describe it. First goal of the game was by Chikrin, a great setup. There was a couple shots. Leonard actually made this play, though I don't think that he got credited with an assist.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Actually, he did. Yeah, him and LaPierre, I think, got because it was the Milano.
Right. So they claimed it was like he dropped it off to him, but I couldn't tell if he shot it and deflected back to Chikrin or he actually was a drop pass. I went back and saw this goal from 3 different angles. I still am not sure if it was a shot block in front of him that bounced back or he passed it back. None of the cameras did it justice. But I'm happy that Jacob Chikrin sort of moved lateral or horizontally until the seas sort of parted and then he picked a corner. And it was a very nice goal. I saw that one. I've missed every one since. So
I missed that one because I missed the entire first period. It was spike night for the track team, so I had to kind of be there.
Right, makes sense. It's been but it was a good night for Tom Wilson, though. I've seen that he gets the next goal. So Gil, let us know how Anna's favorite player was able to produce here.
Yeah, so he keeps it going, though. It took all the way into the second period, as I mentioned, to get things going again. But yeah, he comes through here, and I'm vamping if it's not too obvious because the NHL app is okay. Here we go. So they dump it down, and it's a foot race to the puck. Merzlikins clears. They think they're going to break out, and they do break out. And then, back and forth here. Okay, so finally, so Justin Surdev is the one who makes this play. Nice twist. Oh, yes, this was the tic-tac-toe goal. Mm-hmm. Nice backhand twister pass to the right side to Protas, who spots Wilson all by his lonesome on the weak side, on the left side. And he just puts it away into a half-empty net. Beautiful play, beautiful goal. I like what I'm seeing out of Surdev. The man is a gopher with the puck and without.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's great. And Tom Wilson's 12th goal of the season, Anna.
Yeah.
So, did you see this tic-tac-toe goal? Yes. Did you? Yeah, because Anna, were you back in time? Or no, did you get to watch the first 2 periods? I assume
I did. I was like,
yes,
the Niners, but no, I did. I absolutely watched it, and I thought it was fantastic. I love. Gil and I talked about Surdev yesterday because I was like, not on the fence, but just wanting to know his opinion on what we thought. How he's like meshing with the team and stuff, and we are both in agreement that he is great, fantastic. And I feel like he's just kind of like that. I don't even know, like a silent ninja kind of guy where you're like, okay,
yep,
good way to describe him.
I like it, but he's just gonna he's gonna do his shit and stay underneath the radar, which is great.
Yep, and just kind of shows up out of nowhere when you need him.
Yes, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this. So thank you, Cheryl. But yeah, it's like he's has that potential and the skill, and everything is there. So I'm happy to see it. So this is good from it, and the consistency, huge.
So C4, when did you get into watching in the second period? Did you get to see this goal, or?
I did. Yeah, I got here in time. I got the last 20 seconds of the first period. So yeah, I saw this goal. Absolutely brilliant. I hate when they do that backhand drop pass, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But this is one example of when it worked absolutely perfectly. When it's done like that, it's beautiful. But a lot of times it's not, and it just drives me crazy. But like you said, Tom's development as a player has, over the last couple of years, has just been tremendous, and I loved it. Love it. I mean, he's still a tough guy. Don't get me wrong. But he doesn't start as many fights as he used to, which we'll talk about when we get to the Hockey Fights Cancer game. But he sure will finish him.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Chikrin likes to double it up here and get some nuggets. We get double nuggets in this period, Gil, at least according to the app I see here. So.
Oh, really? So it isn't one to a customer?
No, it is one to a customer.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I meant there was 2 in 1 minute, but yes, yeah, it was some right, because 1945 and 1957 according to the scoreboard.
Both very good years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So a power play goal. So for people who aren't following, I know, for people that aren't following,
that was my first thought, was finally.
Yeah, so they decided to split the power play units into 2 different units, and now they're having a healthy competition between them to see who will get more time, which was so far so good in this new competition era. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But Gil, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
So yeah, if you've been around as long as I have, I mean it's old Coke or the classic Coke versus new Coke versus whatever Coke they wanted to throw out in the 80s. That's pretty much what you got here. Like Robbie said, they split everything. It kind of sprinkled the old power play unit into 2. Carlson's no longer on 1; he's on 2, and Leonard's on got most of his time on 1, so on and so forth. How this play shook out. So Leonard, they kind of used him as a decoy. He had all kinds of space. I expected him to get the classic OV one-timer except on the right wing, but Chikrin ends up calling his own number, fools Elvis, who looked like a hound dog on this play, just flat out missed it. And just a great wrister from the point, and it's in there for 2-0.
Yeah. Anna, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
She got distracted.
I was watching the Niners into the third 10-3, 25 seconds left in the quarter.
There you go.
There you go.
At least they scored.
Womp womp.
Yeah, but so did you see this Jacob Chikrin goal?
Of course.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on this newly constructed power play?
I do. I love Chikrin I'm so glad to see him in, and I said in the podcast last night, I feel like he just kind of came into the team and meshed. Just he's there, he's physical, he's got the skill, he's got the speed, and I love it. So number 6 to me is kind of a crush, but
don't tell Tommy.
I won't. No, but I'm happy with I'm just happy with it overall. So yeah. So sorry, I'm with the Niner distraction.
No, they just showed a couple of interesting stats. Justin Carlson and Chikrin's back-to-back goals that we're talking about is the fastest for Caps defensemen to do it back-to-back in Capitals history, I believe. I think that's what that I was trying to read.
Fastest 2 goals.
Yeah, and so that's awesome. We're now in the McNugget minute of this third period, if we're fast-forwarding to live right now, and the Caps are still up 5-1. I think we might win this one.
I think we might.
So I don't know. But
I don't know, man. It's awfully close.
It's a tough one. But Chikrin, they were also talking about it. He's up there with one of the longest point streaks by a Capitals defensive player. So they just had the trivia up, and the 2 longest were at 10 game streaks. And so I believe
Ida Frady, and I forget the other one now already.
Yeah, I already forgot the other one too.
Nice save. Nice save.
And then how many does Chikrin now have in a row?
I think this makes either 7 or 8.
Yeah.
He has 8 goals.
Right, but how many point streak?
I think this is either his 7th or 8th straight game.
Yeah.
With a point.
I'll look it up while C4 gives her thoughts on this back-to-back defensive goals to end the period.
I think it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
It's as much as I rag on Carlson and whatever, he still comes through when you need him. When, he still can be clutch. Not that we needed another goal at the end of the second period, but just to see him doing that, I just wish he would be a little more consistent, But Chicky,
Right? Thank you.
Oh, Chicky's been my boy all year.
Yeah,
Cheryl Ann.
I mean, she wears his number, so I mean, she put the wallet where the mouth is, So
actually, no, Marcus got me that as a Christmas present last year.
Oh, there you go. Well, he's a smart guy.
Something about number 6.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. And to answer the question, I've now gone back. It's 8 games. So the last time he did not have a point was at Tampa Bay, and still had 5 shots on goal, mind you, in that game on that one and the one before at Pittsburgh. So it was not for lack of effort on those 2 occasions. So been able to put up consistently high shots on goal. What's funny is he's had 5 or more shots on goal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the last 10 games, which is pretty impressive from a defensive player, and 4 tonight, so just barely missing out on that. Only 1 game he didn't have any shots on goal. He still got 2 assists in that one, which is the Edmonton game, which I thought was interesting. So it's the only game that he was held without a shot on goal in the last 10. So good on him. He's really putting it towards the net and putting together a great effort. And then Gil, what was the next goal in this game?
So did we cover John Carlson's goal already?
Oh, I mean, I just sort of quickly described it as they did back to back, but you can describe it if you want more than to give us more context.
I mean, it was. I liked it because it's a sign of them trying new things. So Strome wins the faceoff. It goes back to Ovechkin. You think he's going to do his patented fire from the dot. No. What does he do? He slips it behind him to Carlson, who blasts a knuckle puckler right past Merzlikins. So I don't think anybody saw that coming. So yeah, the kind of the double deke, as you were, the double back pass. Everybody's thinking Ovi's going to shoot, so they kind of just freeze. And no, it's Carlson who blasts it from the very high circle who gets it in. So yeah, I like it. I like that. It looks like they're trying new things on the power play, which we've been begging them to do.
So was this a power play goal? It was not.
It was.
Right?
It looked like the power play unit. I think this was.
It says it expired before it happened. That's why
you know what? That's right. So Chychrun, I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn. So Chychrun was the one who ended the power play,
right?
But it was essentially their PP2 unit.
Right. See, this gives them an opportunity by having 2 power play units that after scoring a goal, you could, in theory, throw the other line out afterwards, which includes an Ovechkin and a John Carlson, and then you could catch lightning in a bottle, as you can see here, which is a great opportunity and a secondary advantage of having.
It was their they were pretty much lined up as if they were on the power play.
Yeah.
So it was more or less like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, smart.
Yeah,
especially with only 15 seconds or so left in the period, you can do that and not, where it's not like you're going to get caught off, too bad.
Right.
So great that they got that goal. And then Martin Ferrari gets his second of the season at 4:05 in the third. Gil, break down this one.
So Marty keeps the party going, and this great pinch in by him. So who got the helpers on that? So McMichael is the one that keeps the play going. Carlson's having a pretty good night. He had some bobbles at the beginning, I thought, but he's having a pretty good night, basically keeping things going. I mean, this is how he's earning his money, keeping the offense going, keeping the possession on our end. And then McMichael's the guy on this play that just waits everybody till everybody's open. But now that I got the actual replay in front of me, okay, so they gain the zone. McMichael's doing his thing, holding line, and then over to Carlson, who puts it towards the net. And then it's I think Faravari got a tip in. No.
No, Faravari shot. So I'm
He's the
looking
one
at the.
that shot it. He's the one that shot it.
Yeah, he
Okay.
shot it from the blue line.
So
So McMichael brought it in,
McMichael brought it in, and yeah.
passes it over to
Okay.
Marty, who shoots it.
And now that I think about it, I first thought Protus got a stick blade on it or a shaft on it, but no, it went in clean.
Yeah.
So Carlson must have done the breakout pass, which would have given him the assist. So, yeah, great play all around.
So they said it's his 12th multi-goal game for. He's being interviewed right now, Jacob Chikrin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know that he had that many. But yeah, that's exciting. What a night for him, though. Just to keep this sort of party rolling. I was worried that our podcast would not bring him the best luck, but I'm kind of happy that we start so late that we can't. If they start 5-1 when we get up on a podcast, it's hard to spoil that, I guess. So, but just great effort all around by all the boys tonight. And let me see. I'm gonna now use our time machine and go back in time and talk about some of the other games from this week. Let me just see if I can get it set up correctly on my end. And let me just see here. And then let me switch over to this view. And awesome. All right, I think that I have it up and ready to go. Just making sure all the goals are still in order. Oh, I wanted to add something. Downloads and this video. The fight that Tommy had was. I want to put this video in here. Where was it in the goals? So it was between which goals in the?
That's a good question.
Testing the two people that went to the game, see if they can remember.
It
Good
was
question.
in the
Let me
middle.
See.
Okay.
Box score.
Hold on, let's see. Yeah, I was gonna say box score. Here we go. Oh no! Wait.
Summary.
Penalties.
Yeah.
It was
18-25 of the second.
Right.
All right. So that was after the
Chikrin was the only goal in the second, and that was at 5:26.
So it's after that.
So after Chikrin's goal.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. It's been put in there. All right. I was super stealthy in that, right?
Yeah. Nobody knows he saw that. Nobody heard it. Nobody saw it. Nothing.
Anyway, it's worth it. The what? Sorry, what'd you say, Anna?
Not after Frank's goal.
Oh, is it not after Frank's goal? Oh, I don't know.
Wait a minute. Oh, it could have been in the third period. It could have been in the third period.
No, it's the second.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's close enough. All right.
Frank was very early in the third, but that fight was late in the second.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually got video later of Tommy and somebody chatting it up, but it never came to anything.
Right. Yeah, C4 got this video that I just imported from her, sent through Messenger onto my phone that I then airdropped onto the computer and put into our video player. So, just a simple thing.
Of course.
All right, let's get into this goal scoring. We've got a lot of goals to break down, and we've got about 25 more minutes with our friend Anna Knox. What's the score? It's halftime right now in the game. Is that right?
Yes. Let me look. Sorry, I had both up. Yes. Doesn't tell me the just halftime. 10-3 Niners.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm pulling it up on another window. So hold on, let me just do that. But Gil, while I do that, why don't you break down this first goal of this game here from Protoss, who we've been talking about needing to score badly.
Yeah, so great play here. So the McJesus loses the puck to Protus and Sortif, and Carlson puts it towards the net. And we've been saying Carlson needs to shoot more. Good things happen when he does. Great example of that. Sort of sets him up. Carlson with the shot, and then Protas just does the dirty work in front of the net. Great to see him get this type of goal for the 1-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Anna, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
No, I was just excited to see Protas back on the scoreboard. Yay, 21. For me, I think he needs this to just get back to hopefully scoring more frequently in the future games, honestly. So this is good.
Yeah, I want to talk to C4.
21.
Yeah, C4 real quickly about his brother, who seems to be outshining him right now. I know it's the AHL versus the NHL, but one of the top scorers in the league, and from a rookie perspective, what are we seeing from him, and what are your thoughts on his big brother's goal here?
I like when Protas gets down in front of the net, but then again, I like it when anybody gets down in front of the net. But yeah, he's been too quiet lately. He needs to step it up a little more. I think part of it is, just like we were talking about, there's been some injuries and stuff that have kind of mixed the lines up a little bit, but I think they may be starting to hit their stride. So hopefully this is a sign of better things to come for him. I think hopefully he's seemed to play really well tonight. I don't think he got on the scoreboard, but at least he was out there making his presence known. So that's a good thing to see. And his brother he's tearing it up, man. The next game we're going to is on Sunday, which is their Hockey Fights Cancer night. So
yeah,
I think Marcus is going Saturday night. He'll be there Saturday night with Jared.
Protas did get an assist on Tom Wilson's goal. He was the one.
Did
he was actually
tonight?
the one.
Okay.
Yes, he was the one that actually did. So tic-tac-toe, he was tack.
Okay, you're right. So yeah, so it's good to see him getting back into it.
Yeah, I know he has it. He's just been sort of invisible on the score sheet for a couple of weeks here, which is very unlike him because he's such a big, towering presence. But it ebbs and flows. You're not gonna with all players unless you're Ovechkin, I guess. But most players have ups and downs. So. It's good to see him back out there. For the second goal, speaking of Mr. Ovechkin, we see him return to lighting the lamp, so to speak, in a big way. Gil, talk about this goal.
So national TV, spotlights on everybody, but none brighter than, of course, the Great Eight. Okay, so Strome shoots it around the corner, gets it over. Great puck movement here along the point. Chychrun throws it on the net after getting it from Roy. And so is this a tip? Yeah. So Ovechkin not only delivers the pizza, but he tips his own self as the driver and gets the puck to go in. So always a great thing.
Yeah. C4, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
Again, another one of those down and dirty goals that I really like to see. It's good to see Ovi starting hopefully to hit his stride again. I notice he is playing slightly fewer minutes, and I think that's actually been to his benefit. He looks more rested. He looks more active. He looks more like his old self.
He looks fresher every shift he takes.
Yeah, he's looking better. Now, I think I think he's beginning to realize that maybe he doesn't have to carry the load for the team, that he's got enough around him. And I think that's part of what was going on with him, maybe, is he was thinking he had to carry the load. But he's got Wilson, he's got Protas, he's got Leonard, he's got Chychrun, he's got Carlson, he's got Strome, he's got all these other people. And I think it's finally settling in. And I think he's finally starting to release that pressure on himself. And I think contrary to popular belief, I really believe he was putting a lot of pressure on himself to get to that 900. And now that it's over with, he's still feeling pressure to perform, but you can see him relaxing more and starting to enjoy the game again. So hopefully, he keeps it going and stuff. But yeah. It's good to see it. It's good to see it.
Yeah, I was so impressed with the effort in this game, but then also in the next one. We're going to continue on with Ryan Leonard, which I was having fun, and Marcus was doing a watch along for this game, and I was having fun in his stream for this, and because I saw it like as I was a little bit ahead of his stream, so I was like I had to jump back in the chat. So I'm here for this next moment, and and so then he scored.
That's right. Live streaming this one.
Yeah. So what are Gil, break this one down for us.
Okay, so first of a pair, Leonard shows us he's got a pair, and what a pair. So yeah, this is basically just him bullying his way to the net after. So it's Carlson and McMichael getting it in the zone, and then Leonard takes it from the high slot, just kind of takes it from there, pushes his way towards the net. Does he have a screen? Yes. Kulak is screening his own goalie, uses that. That's one of it. That's one of his tools in his ever-growing box. Using the defenseman as a screen, does that here, and well, it's Skinner, so make of that what you will. But yeah, still a great goal.
Yeah. I was very impressed with this. Oh, and I can't see or hear anybody. That's weird. She's maybe she needs to leave and come back. Hold on, let me message her.
We lost her.
We lost her. I'm gonna let Gil, you break down the second one. I let her because this is the second Ryan Leonard.
This one is just it's one part muscle, one part speed. Takes the puck from
sheer determination.
Yeah, from McMichael at center. I think Duhaime deserved, I don't know if he touched it, but does Duhaime deserve some credit here for also helping to keep the play going along the boards. But once Leonard got it, gained the zone, yeah, like C4 said, sheer determination and will from there. Gets around his check, and yeah, great move, great deke to get it in, and puts it in the back of the net for his second of the night.
Yeah, some awesome stuff. I love him and McMichael's chemistry that's building. Like, this is what we were hoping for, right? Because there's a lot of potential with these two. There's times where he's going to center Ryan Leonard. There's times where we may have him on the other wing, so like these two are our future, and they're, them being on a line together will be an important part of that future. And it's nice to see the chemistry here.
Definitely.
C4, any thoughts? C4, any thoughts on that?
Agreed. I mean, I like to see he's finally getting a little more ice time. He's finally getting a little more comfortable out there. He's finally playing with a variety of players. He's playing with McMichael. He's been on the line with Ovechkin. He's been on the line with Strome. He's on the power play. So it's good to see him getting used better and given opportunity to show what he can really do. And this, I think, is a perfect example of it. You give him the puck, he's got the speed, he's got the guts, he's got the determination, and he's going to do what he does. So, I mean, same with the other goal. But this is the one, actually, I think, where he actually had a little dances with wolves with the guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just, that sheer brute strength and determination to get around him.
Well, I mean, not to not to rain on his parade a bit, but the guy whose check he beat, Bouchard.
Yeah.
Let's just say he's not exactly known for being a defensive defenseman. I'll leave it at that. And if you saw the live replay, he kind of just gave up. I think more than anything, like you said, Cheryl, he outguts his man.
Yeah.
When he gets it. So if you saw the live replay, as soon as he got to the dots, Bouchard had effectively given up on him. He knew he wasn't getting the puck. He wasn't going to play the body.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to do anything to stop him. So yeah, this more than anything is what we were hoping for when they spent the first round pick on him. Making the other team not want to play against him, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And it's funny because you can see he gets harassed a lot when he's on the ice. Or there's times when he's like wide open because they're worried about everybody else. I wish they would get him the puck more when he's wide open like that if they have opportunity to get it over there. But that's a different discussion. But yeah, I think this was a good pick overall, and I think it's good. I think he's finally starting to get used in the right way where he will start really shining.
Yeah. I'm trying to, sorry, I was in the background trying to get Anna back in, but we're having some troubles. All right, we're going to keep on going here. Beauvillier getting his 4th of the season. Gil, why don't you break this one down?
Yeah, nice to see Beauvillier getting on the board here. It's him and Strome with the 2-man game. And man, the Oilers, they did not take care of the puck very well. And when the play was going the other way, they just did not they look very slow coming back. And Strome and Beauvillier just, having their way with it. Mm-hmm. 2-on-1 here pretty much. And Beauvillier just once he gets it, you give him enough of a path to the net, he's going to bury it, which he did here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Agreed. Like Gil said. No, I love Beauvillier. I like his presence. I like his shot. I like his awareness of what's going on around him. So yeah, I really think he was a good pickup for us. I was a little skeptical at first because I didn't know a lot about him, but I'm really, really, really glad we have him now.
Yeah. I am too. I think that he's such we've talked about it before, he's kind of like a Swiss Army blade kind of guy. Like, he can be whatever you need him to be, and he can play up or down in a line. He can fill in on a 4th line. You need some grit. He can also join your top line. So,
right. And even if he's not on the score sheet, he's still making things happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot that happens behind the scenes, and you need role players that may or may not show up on the stat sheet on any given night, right? Like it's not just the goal scorers that are important. You need those sort of extra players, but it's great when those players can also put it in the net too. So
yeah, another one that like that is Dowd.
Right, exactly. I very much feel that way about him. And Connor McMichael hopefully will turn into that sort of a player, right? That's at least the hope. All right, we got Tom Wilson with an empty netter, which you gotta love. A really great play by the aforementioned Connor McMichael. I thought it was just a smart play by him, and he saw the angle that Tom Wilson was taking, and he had a much better angle than he could have done, and be unselfish with it. Get that empty netter, and obviously 6-4 is a huge goal because when they're charging down on you 6-on-5, you're only down 1 goal. 1 or 2 mistakes, and it could be in the back of your own net. So empty net goals are very important. You kind of have to ignore what the general Facebook people say about them. Because usually they're in tight games. It's not like they just randomly like to pull their goalie. Gil, any other thoughts on this one?
Well, so if you're looking at the diagram here, 24 is Connor McMichael, 97 is Connor McDavid, and guess who wins the battle? The better Connor Mick in all of our opinions here in the DMV anyway. So make sure he clears the zone. Who gets it to Wilson, who makes sure he clears the red line, which is important because you don't want to give up an icing. And then, of course, he puts it in the back of the net. One of several people very good at that. A very good, accurate shot from 90 to 100 feet. Of course, as we'll see later, there's somebody who's even better at that. But a great one to ice it here for the Caps.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Anna's computer keeps on restarting, so I don't know if she'll be able to join us for the rest of the stream tonight. I know it's a bummer. We should all invest in like an iPad or something.
Right, there we go.
So hopefully Santa will get her a new laptop or an iPad for Christmas. I know she wants to be here, so she sends her apologies. All good. We've got a crack team here. I think that we can get through these goals, the three of us. But we always love Anna's knowledge and insight as well, and hope that her 49ers continue to play well for the rest of this evening. It's a fairly close game, but Brock Purdy right now is having the better between him and Bryce Young. The second half is just underway. San Francisco is still up 10-3 in that game. The next one is another Tom Wilson empty net goal. And so if one is good, why not have more?
So Tom, sorry, Robbie.
Yeah.
I have to say that we know the end result, and this is my interpretation of if you piss Tom off, this is how he would serve you, said McNuggets. Just be thankful he didn't include sauce here, but it's just it's great play. He recovers it at the blue line, and again waits all day and has the shot. He decided the crowd deserved better than to not go hungry, because I think he felt bad, because if he waited one more second, he'd have gotten the McNugget minute goal on his first attempt. So this is 28 seconds later, and he made damn sure that the crowd doesn't go home hungry.
Right.
There we go.
This video's making me laugh every time.
We got pizza too, didn't we? Because Obi scored.
Yeah,
right?
pizza. Yeah, you got the nugget pizza combo. But C4, thoughts on two Tom Wilson empty net goals?
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Just
We'll take them anywhere they come, right?
I will take them anywhere they come. And
that we will.
Nuggets are always a bonus.
Yeah, so I mean, Tom Wilson is climbing up some leaderboards for the Capitals, is becoming one of the greatest all time on the goal list. He's just a couple behind TJ Oshie and just past Bobby Carpenter, and now is in the top 10. So TJ's only 3 goals away from him. Dave Christian is 4 goals away from him. Gustafson is 6 goals away from him, and Semin is only, this is remarkable to me, 8 goals away now.
Wow.
So he could get to the top,
big names.
Yeah, I could get to the top 6 pretty quick here. So we'll see how it goes for the rest of this year, but something to obviously watch out for as we continue this season. And but also games played. I know he's played more games than all those other players that we talked about for the Capitals, but that's good. You know, durability is a core function, with that, I think we will move on to the next game, just because we have so many goals to talk about. In the first period, Ovi gets it going in this next. So we talked about it last week. I was actually on the post-game show. Marcus did his very first post-game win celebration episode, and all of us were on it, and so that was really fun. So we kind of all thought this was going to be a scheduling loss. I mean, how we describe what has to happen here is they leave on an emotional high after getting all those. You then have to travel late at night, cross a border, get in at God knows what hour, right?
Yeah.
Try to get some sleep. Maybe get a practice on an ice rink and sometime in the next, during the day. Try to get maybe a little more rest. I doubt they're sightseeing much on a day like that. A couple of meetings and back at it right there. I mean, this is one of the hardest schedules that you could do. A back-to-back where you cross borders in between.
Yeah.
Like I cannot emphasize. And it's crazy because then it's right back to us. It's like they almost like they threw it out there just to mess with us, right? Because it's like we now have a huge homestand. They could have just taken that one game out, but who knows? Anyway, I feel like they were trying to serve us up to Montreal. Here you go. Here's a team, and you're on. By the way, 2 days rest, and you have that crazy Bell Center crowd going, and nobody likes to score goals in the Bell Center as much as Alexander Ovechkin. One of the all-time highest goal scorers of an opponent in that place's history. And he's almost, Gil, a point-per-game producer in that place.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. I mean,
He actually had 1, 2.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He's had 3 of his 33 hat tricks in the Bell Center. So, anyway, sorry, that's a spoiler. But anyway, we're going to get into the first goal here. But, Gil, it's great to score in the first minute. It's like a reverse nugget.
The bizarro McNugget minute goals, I call it. So this one is a classic blink and you'll miss it goal off the face-off dot on the power play. Kaboom. Strom wins the draw, gets it to the grade 8, who's sitting there waiting at the circle, and blast off right past Montembeau into the goal. A la boo, as the Quebecers will say, and 1-0 Caps for great start. Another power play goal. Wow. What can you say?
It was.
Yeah, and this is the 3rd one of these, I believe, that they've done this season. This is a set piece that Skill was talking about. And
yes.
Great snapshot by OV. C4, any thoughts on this?
No, OV off the draw.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. OV off the draw.
Yeah.
Gotta love when that happens.
Well, it's great that we have this in our arsenal still. I mean, this alone, on a power play and a decoy, for me, I'll take as many seasons as I get as Ovechkin, and the haters can shut up because he can still do this, and this is unstoppable, right? I mean, it's amazing to see, and I love that this is a game where he can shut up all the haters that were like, he should have, left after last year, and he's, holding on to a spot that other people could develop in, and, all that. And another guy who I just have been very impressed, and in this game, is another game where he's like, there's been haters on Frank, but we talked about it last week. Ever since he came back from his little bit of a break, and then he had a reset, and he came back, he's looked like a completely different player. And looked at actually like one of our better players, arguably playing better than Protas right now. And, I've really liked what I've seen from Ethan Frank, but he gets his first goal here, a power play goal, and Gil, help us break this one down.
They utilize his availability and his speed and his just flat out ability to get open here. And even with a check coming at him, manages to put himself in the right place in the slot. So slot shots are a term. That's a thing. Also very important to get. And just puts it away. His opposite, number 53, sets the screen. And there you go. He's got a good enough shot to bury it, and he uses it right here.
Yeah, it's kind of like his version of the Ovechkin shot a little bit. And I like that Ovechkin's a decoy because he was starting in that place, but then he cuts through the zone going the opposite direction, right? So It's kind of like in football when you've got a bunch route, right? And then you use players to either pick or like go in a different direction to throw the defense off. And they're like, ha ha ha, we've got this hidden guy behind us, right? Psych, it's that guy. And so, it's very much in my mind like that. And we need more misdirection on the power play and to be less stagnant. And in fact, the coach was talking about that going into tonight's game, that he wants to see more of this. But it was nice to see it here. C4, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he was struggling a little bit in the last few games, Frank, and but it's nice to see him do this. I was, when he's on, and he knows how to get open. You see it here. Yeah. Wilson's talking about Leonard. Oh, okay.
I mean,
I guess I'll.
Oh man!
See what I can do here.
Right. So Leonard is now out on his own, and I don't know if people saw this. I shared a video of it on the Sports on the Hill podcast page. I love what Coach was saying about Leonard having to go out into the real world and become an adult, and like his maturity and how that's gonna change that. And so it was cool to hear what Coach thought about like what it must be like to be 20 and going out into the world for the first time. But like these, we think of these as these superstars, right? These NHL players, but meanwhile, how much like cooking and laundry has he done in his life? You know what I mean? Like it's just like,
there was
you have to learn to be an adult too.
Yeah, on one of those Facebook reels, they were talking about who do you think would burn the turkey, and I think just about everyone said Leonard.
Right. Yeah,
Pretty much everyone just said Leonard.
it's pretty great.
But yeah, but we digress. But yeah, no, it's good to see Frank, stepping up and doing his thing. I think he's got some potential, and hopefully it works for him.
Yeah, it's that
continues
guy,
to work for him.
the sucky guy who never passes on his 10th assist, Ovechkin, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so funny to me that like he's still able to put up 20 points in his first 21 games, Gil, right? Like, that guy's totally washed.
Yeah.
So I wanted to point out this. I thought was really interesting as he starts to get on the upper echelon of point scoring now, Gil. After this week, he's now a top 10 in the league history in points, right? Everyone's like, oh, he's got the goals, but not the points. Well, now he's got the points too. And Gil, he's the only one in the top 10 who has more goals than assists in the points category, which I think is a fascinating statistic, right? Everybody else got their points by assists, primarily. And, it's cool to see a goal scorer now crack that top 10. So it's a major milestone and something to not be overlooked, because it also says that, hey, this guy didn't just score goals, right? Like he actually can assist here, but I feel like it's not really talked about in the same way. For the sake of time, I'm just going to keep on going, and we're going to talk about Ethan Frank some more. And he gets another goal here. And Gil, why don't you take this one away?
So this one, Frank really shows his speed here. So, so activation by LaPierre to Protus, who sees Frank blazing down the wing, and double Frank, 2 for the price of 1 game here, and so make of that what you will. I hope everybody look. I'm trying not to be a weenie here, but we're trying to highlight the guy. I feel bad. I was down on him, but frankly, we're doing better. So. Yeah. Somewhere Anna is vomiting into something. And
she's
sorry.
Probably happy that she left.
Probably happy she's
probably
missing
happy at this point she's not here.
Exactly. But yeah, no, such speed and great outlet pass to get it to him, and basically gets him in a 1 on nothing, because it's behind the line here. I mean, he does a good job of making that play, and a great pass in open space too.
Great pass, wonderful pass by Protus, and then Frank's speed just takes it over from there. Just beats his check all the way into the zone.
I'd like to see more of that. When I was a soccer coach for 1 year, that was one of the things we really stressed was trying to kick into space, right, and then run through it instead of trying to dribble too much, right? So I think there is something for that in hockey too, in the sense of like too much stick handling sometimes gets it stolen and going the other way, right? If you can do crisp tape to tape passes or get it into space, that's better. I think that there is something to be learned about this goal here and opportunities that could arise, especially with some of our quicker, younger players. So
definitely.
C4, any thoughts on this?
Again, nice to see his quickness. Nice to see his awareness and getting that puck in. I really like what I see from him. I hope it continues. I hope he gets more consistent. I think that's my biggest problem with Frank. He's been a little inconsistent, but hopefully that consistency will build and he will get even better.
I think it's all chemistry. He just needs to get used to certain lines and build that and confidence in himself, right? I think we're starting to see as he's gained more confidence, he's looked a lot better, which I mean that's fairly obvious in most players. But I think that he's one that particularly needs that, and so and it's starting to come into fruition here. Hey, it's that guy again. And Gil, I'm going to refill my water, but break down this goal and then get C4's thoughts on it as well.
Chikrin, you say? Hope everybody caught that reference, but if not, that's fine. So he plays the 2-man game after the puck is coughed up. Sortif and Wilson, great forechecking there. Great example of what good to great forechecking will get you. They force the turnover. Carlson collects, two-man game with Chikrin, and he throws it at the net. Look at all the space he's got because of the confusion caused by the forecheck.
Yeah.
But all that space there, and just another example of how great a shot that he has, even with the goalie not really having much of a screen there at all to deal with. So yeah, just it's absolute perfection all around here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Chikrin. But no, I like how this. I kind of like how this play developed. It was it was kind of behind the net. 93 had it. 71 had it. And then somehow it got out to Carlson. I think Tommy or somebody nudged it over there to Carlson. And Carlson had Chikrin, and Chikrin had that space because everyone was still kind of crowded around in that corner, and gone. It's great.
Yeah, really. He's been brilliant for us. I mean, just
he's a seeing eye puck. I mean, he's got this like almost sixth sense of where to shoot the puck.
He reminds me of Mike Green a little bit, right? I just think that
a little bit
interesting. Yeah. You should say that. I thought I saw a graphic a little while ago. I still got the game on there, at the post game in the background, and they had a graphic up where he is actually second in the league among goals for defensemen now.
To Mike Green.
No, in the league now.
Oh, in the league now. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I was gonna say
this season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it's going to be exciting to see where this goes and develops from here, because they're just gaining chemistry, and especially with this 2 power play unit, I love some friendly, healthy competition within the team. I think that can spark some juice. Much needed.
Yeah. Much needed.
Yeah.
The other thing I mean, he just muscles that puck sometimes. Chikrin does. There was, I don't know, it wasn't this game. I don't remember what game it was, but he had this assist on a goal where he literally, it looked like he just muscled that, and I can't remember who he passed it to. And whoever it was got the goal, but he just muscled that puck through the crowd to whoever it was he was aiming at, and whoever he was aiming at got it and scored. But just his physicality on the ice it's just so impressive. He doesn't even have to be doing anything. It's just his physical presence is enough to kind of intimidate you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree.
Yeah. Sorry, I was caught watching Raw. I always love it when the Uso brothers get to fight together. So, especially against the heels.
Who are they fighting against?
So it's Jake Paul, right? Yeah, exactly. And what's his name?
Did you see he had his notes on his hand? Did you see that picture?
Yeah, but that was on purpose. Like, they zoomed in on it. Like, I think he did that for the heat. I really do.
Of course he did.
And it's Drew McIntyre who is, because it's like, it's just set up for this.
Drew as a heel. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah, it sets up for the War Games. Anyway, Ovechkin scoring more. We get a big time goal here, his 9th of the season.
Wait, did we miss a Milano goal?
No. That comes later.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Yeah, because
Ovi.
Oh wait, you know what? Yeah,
Frank,
you're right. You're right.
Chikrin, Milano.
You're right. So number 5 is number 5.
You're right.
You skip one.
One.
Did we skip Milano?
He gets 2 in the first one. So this is the first of those 2. And okay.
This is what happens when there's 8 goals in a game. Anyway, go. Yeah, Gil. All right, you take this one away.
All right. So turnover again by the Habitant, and Frank again with his speed. Sandin starts it, and Milano takes it to the net. And when he takes it to the net, he's got a lot of skill in front. He can do a lot with that puck in front. And it didn't surprise me that he got a couple in this game himself. Great shot. And this turned out to be the game winner. And the Caps really poured it on at this point in the game. And great to see Milano just take it over from here.
he made it a 1-0. Like, it was actually took a great angle, to the point where his speed just crisscrossed the defenders, and
exactly
was able to pot it once he was past the last line of defense. C4, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Milano. I mean, again, he's another one of those ones that's been a little inconsistent this year, but when he does what he does it well. And it's always fun to watch. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super happy, and now we can get to the Ovechkin 9th goal.
Here's the second goal. Wow. So Montreal turns the puck over in the other end, and Strome picks it up. Just great presence of mind, even with his wife 1,000 miles away, giving birth to their third daughter. Gets it over to Ovechkin at the other dot, who buries it with a snapper at 16:03 to more or less put the game away here. But you got to applaud Strome for what he was going through this night. He had a hell of a game.
He did. When I first saw that he wasn't there when she was giving birth, I was like, what? But apparently it was unexpected. She wasn't supposed to be giving birth. I think she wasn't actually due for another week or two.
Right.
Oh, wow.
But,
I didn't know it was a week or two. I thought it was just a couple of days, but it was crazy.
No, it might have been a couple of days, but she wasn't.
But who knows? But he finds out about it in the warm-ups that she's going to the hospital. Some of the players all prayed together. They all rallied behind him. They realized they tried to do all that they could to see, was there any way for him to get back in time. The reality was him taking the charter flight back was actually the fastest way to get home, after the game. And so they had to rally, and she basically gives birth either during the first period or the first period intermission, and the whole team, rallying behind him. And I think that really was a big catalyst for this game. They wanted to win it for him. And just great effort, and great team camaraderie. And I love the post-game video for this, and giving it to her, and him rushing back and getting to be with his daughter. And obviously congratulations to the whole family to the birth of his third daughter. Just amazing night, amazing stuff, and Ovechkin keeps it going. Any other thoughts, C4?
No, just that was pure perfection. Strome brought it down, saw Ovi open on the other side, perfect pass, boom.
And he held it just long enough to pull the goalie out of position, right?
Yep.
I think he lets it go any earlier, it might be saved. Because everyone, it seems, is going back to Ovi, but you have to, at some point, he's so far down by the dots, at some point you got to move over and angle yourself, because you just can't give him, the net.
Right.
So, great overall goal. And then to top it, he got a hat. And I guess you can't see it. There it is. But it was a big time night for Ovechkin's 33rd.
I had that on for a reason.
Why is that?
So 33rd hat trick of his career, and it's crazy because that puts him in a tie for 4th all time in hat tricks, which is pretty amazing. Gil, why don't you break down this empty net?
So hold on. So before, make sure you got the audio on. I'm pretty sure this is the one.
Got it. You're right. Got it. I have the audio now.
Okay. So great goal by him, and it's an empty netter. And look, just watch the targeting. Yeah, that's my.
Oh my God.
to the Canadiens fans, the same idiot that booed Thompson when he cheered Thompson when he got hurt.
Right. His ability, I mean, I have to point out how far away he is. All of these empty net goals he's gotten recently have all been behind the blue line. But he makes it look so easy. It was dead center. Look at You know,
it's like he's not even trying. He just kind of flips it down there.
yeah. I mean, he just has an incredible ability um, to be able to find the net, and no matter where he is on the ice. I mean, people are like, "Oh, the net doesn't." He even joked the net doesn't move. That's true, but why can no one else do this? At such a success rate. So most people cause icings when they try to do it. So, especially with the curved blade that he has, the fact that he could shoot it straight for that long of a distance is pretty remarkable to me. But just some great stuff, and then to top it off, Sonny Milano wanted to put some salt in the wound, as they said on the broadcast. I thought
There we go.
because they put a goalie back in, and so it's not even an empty netter. He just wanted to get a goal himself, using his speed once again. But Gil, why don't you break this one down?
So LaPierre breaks out of the zone. Frank is the center on this play, kind of flip-flop and rolls, and Sonny's all alone in the circle and lines up the shot, puts it past Dobish, who came in for Montembeau after goal number 3. Just another great goal. And actually, Sonny didn't really celebrate. He was kind of just put his head down and be like, okay, let's just get the game over with at this point, because this was as we said on our podcast, belt to ass at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I like how Gil has a cat in his screen, and I've got a cat down here. Cats all over.
I had one on the table back there eating, but I don't know
he
where
snuck
he went.
on for a second. He's running around on the floor now.
Right. How old is that cat, Gil?
He is 7 years old.
All right, there you go. He's double Neville's age. Neville here is 15. We got there. One of the mascots of the channel. So yeah, I mean, great game. I don't, just incredible stuff to be able to score 15 goals in basically 27 hours, right? And it's and to have to travel across the border to do it too. Pretty wild stuff. And I was a little worried that there might be a little bit of a letdown, after all that energy expenditure. This is an important game. C4 had reminded us that 2 years ago, we all actually got to be at the game together. That was super fun. I got to all sit in the same section for Hockey Fights Cancer. Unfortunately, this game wasn't the result that we wanted, but I'm happy that Gil got to go to another game this year. So this is your 5th so far?
I was gonna say he's been to more than I, and I usually go to a lot.
Yeah. So
well, that's well, I got a few friends that have been very, very, very good to me. None better than our sponsorship partner this year, Audie Wood of Empowering Education. If I can sneak in a quick plug. We were the one. He had an extra seat, so of course he dragged me along up to 409, and we watched it from there. So thank you, Audie, if you're listening. But yeah, it wasn't the result, but it was a great time. Got to get together with some guys I haven't seen in a while, and some guys I haven't seen in a really long while. But yeah, it was a great time despite the result.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's unfortunately, so we got a goal right at the beginning. This is what you want, almost a bizarre nugget goal.
Good start here.
Yeah, he's been playing phenomenal for us.
I love what I've seen out of him.
Yeah, I feel like he's improving week after week, which is what you want to see. A new player enters the system, and Gil, break this one down.
Okay, so he's actually playing center. He's been playing center, wins the draw back to Protas. He shoots it wide. Ferravari recovers here, gets it back to the point for Wilson to shoot. He gets the rebound, a rebound shot to go off the goalie, and sort of just picks up the garbage and puts it away. Beautiful goal here off the rebound.
Yes.
Yeah, Tom Wilson's 10th assist of the season. C4, what are some of your thoughts on this early goal?
Love it. I wish we had more guys down there chasing rebounds. We could do so many things with rebounds if we had the right guys down there. So it's nice to see, like you said, sort of that Swiss Army knife. He has been just wherever we need him, he has done well, and I love it.
Well, I don't know. So a lot of bad things happen when you're on the rebound, so I hear.
God.
I'm gonna go to the next call. All right,
on to the next one.
We got Jacob Chikrin scoring. Unfortunately, there were 4 goals between these these 2 goals.
And Thompson was he was off. I mean, there was just something off about him that night.
Yeah, I mean,
but shorthanded.
Shorthanded. That I'll give him a pass on. But there were at least 2 of those others. The remaining goals.
He should have stopped that easy.
He should have stopped. He looked like he was scuffling, flailing, what have you. The glove hand wasn't working.
Yeah.
I would kind of love to have Janae's take on it since she plays. And I'm sure she saw the game and how could judge better how he looked.
Is she a goalie?
Oh yeah, she is. She is.
Actually, one of the girls on my high school on my track team also plays hockey, and she's a goalie. I'm like, girl, you're nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, he just did not look good. And now
I'm happy we went back to him today and he proved that it was a fluke.
No, he got the better of it today. I think whatever was bugging him was just obviously a 1-game thing, but he was not ready to play, and it showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And but you can't get to 8 games in a row at the point without having the 7th. So we got Jacob here with this important goal. Gil, why don't you help break this one down?
All by himself is what he did here. So Roy digs it out, but they turn it over, and there's a scrum in back that lasted a while. So Chikrin somehow gets it after a hard around clear doesn't go, and yeah, he just collects it and snaps it. Not a full slap shot, but his snapshot just as good as his slapper. Got a lot of force behind that and gets it in on the far side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Oh,
Sorry,
the Usos almost had the win, and of course Drew McIntyre comes in and saves them, even though he was not the legal man. I hate Drew McIntyre. Anyway, but
I don't like him as a heel, but that's a whole different issue.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm happy to see that we scored the goal. It kind of gave us some life, and I thought that there was a real opportunity here. Another thing that gave us some life in the second period was this fight shot by C4 here.
My son you hear yelling in the background. That's my son. That wasn't Marcus. That was my son who was also with him.
I thought I heard both of them.
That was Bradley.
I don't know. Maybe that's funny. So, first of all, look at how tall this guy is. I mean, he's crouching down here, but he's 6'9", I heard.
Yep.
And then you have to add a couple inches for skates, right? So he's like a bear on skates. And Tom Wilson says he's never heard of this guy. And he thought it was a weird line change, which means that I think that they tried to goon it up a little bit and send out a different line than they normally would to instigate. And he did get an instigator penalty for it.
He did.
And Tom Wilson laid the beat down on him, which is hard to do with a guy that has a much larger reach. Obviously, Tom Wilson is a much better fighter. And this, by the way, this tag team match just devolved, and everybody else from War Games showed up. C4. I'm sure that just shocked.
Of course.
But yeah, great fight, great video by C4. You can catch it on our. I just posted as a reel on our page. You can catch it on her page and on Instagram as well. I thought that we should keep this fight forever, and so we did. So thank you for being a reporter on the scene. And great fight, and it definitely gave us even more life, I thought, going into the next period. Gil, any more thoughts on this fight?
No, other than the obvious, he held his own. Just yet another victim against a guy who allegedly only goes after littler guys. Right.
And actually, he didn't start that one. He just
And then,
finished
no,
it.
he didn't. No, right. He did. Not only did he not start it, but it's a guy bigger than him, and he kind of has a reel of guys that are his size or larger that he's also taken down. And as we pointed out on our podcast, one of them happened to be a Penguin named Jamie Alexiak, and hopefully Caps fans remember that name. I know I do.
Yep.
Yeah. For sure. I love it. Great shot. Good camera work, C4. I give you props for that.
Straight up off my iPhone.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Well done. And we could watch this for the whole rest of the episode, but we're gonna keep going. And so
one more.
Yeah, one more. Ethan Frank getting his third goal of the week and of the show. And at the time, I made it 4-3, and I thought that there was an opportunity here. There's plenty of time to maybe complete this comeback. But Gil, I'll help break this one down.
I really love. I love this line. I love this play. A lot of hard work here. So Milano is dogging them on the forecheck. Nudges the puck after Chicken recovers at the line, and Frank is playing the wing at this point. Switches to the wing, and just great snapper from the right circle to get it in the net. Yeah. And we were really hoping the rally was on at this point, but unfortunately, this was all they would come up with.
Yeah. I like how he got himself open, kind of like he did in the other game.
Yep.
His first goal in the other game where he just got himself open and
using that speed.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, the comeback would fall short, though. But I like the effort to come back in this. What were your thoughts overall on this game, Gil, and Hockey Fights Cancer?
I mean, it's too easy to say. I get that, but had it not been for the bad start, I think the Caps had a pretty good chance of winning this game, or at least coming away with a point. So it's disappointing. I mean, what are you going to do? The special teams certainly didn't help. Giving up a shorthanded goal is pretty much the hockey equivalent of shooting yourself in the foot. So there's that.
We had count them 6 power plays.
Yeah,
6, including 0.
And within that,
and one of those was a 5-on-3,
a 2-man advantage.
Yeah, that's the one that kills me the most. That was in the third. And then if they score there, it ties the game, if I remember correctly. And instead, they gain some momentum. But also, like, you gave up a shorthanded goal, too. So you're like -1 on the power play. Like that's
it's just like, oh.
Yeah,
6-man advantages, including a 5-on-3, and they did all of diddly poo with it.
Yep.
But I give the credit to the coach who basically called them out on it and decided to finally do something about it. You know, like it's one thing to be like, we need to do better, but obviously the system needed adjustments, and we've been talking about it on this show. They've been talking about it online.
Well, I think this was the game that finally put him over the edge, because up until then he was like, okay, well, you know what? I trust my guys. They're improving, and he wasn't really keen on changing anything as far as any of the power play, the structure, the movement, the personnel, any of it. I think going 0 for 6 in a game that they darn near won or tied in regulation finally sent him over the edge. Like, okay, all right, I have to do something. And it's great that they finally did something, but boy, they probably I saw a tweet that they probably surrendered in excess of 10 standings points because of games like this, where the special teams
have just
gave it away because they played better 5-on-5 otherwise.
Oh, we're fantastic 5-on-5. 5-on-5, we'll outplay almost everybody, but it's the special teams that are killing us. And when you go over
Yep.
6 on a power play in a game like that,
Yeah. Inexcusable.
Yeah.
With the talent this team has, inexcusable. Totally.
Right, but I'm happy that we were able to rebound, get this big Columbus Blue Jackets win tonight. That we win.
Yep.
And we got a power play goal. And actually, the power play's starting to look. Hopefully, these little tweaks will.
It's looking a lot better. It
really
is. Still far from perfect, but it's better than it was.
I'd give the power play 2 goals. I know that they didn't get one, but that the second line coming out right afterwards and the goal.
That one that was 12 seconds later, that
was pretty close.
That looked like a power play goal.
Right, exactly. So the fact that we won 4 out of 5, and leading up to this is great. We're trending in the right direction. We've got Winnipeg and Toronto on Wednesday and Friday. So Wednesday, Winnipeg 7:00 game. Friday, it's a matinee game because most people have off on Friday against
Black Friday.
Toronto. Yeah, Black Friday, and then we got a game on Sunday at the Island at 1 p.m. So I'm just happy that we get normal rest and normal travel to things. Hopefully, we can settle ourselves down a little bit, and then. That's kind of the end of a long homestand, and then we go on our California road trip. That will be so next week. We'll recap those 3 games. We'll preview the California road trip, and that'll lead into my birthday podcast on the 8th. And then we only have just a couple more shows left until our winter break. So for looking ahead, we've got a show next week on the 1st. We'll recap those games I was just talking about. We'll preview that California road trip, and then the 8th, we'll have a special birthday podcast. We'll talk about those games, and then there's also a Columbus Blue Jackets game we would talk about after. So we have to come back from that California road trip and then play 2 days later, which kind of sucks. But hopefully not too bad. And then they'll have that Carolina, Winnipeg, Minnesota series that we will preview. And then the 15th is the last show that we will have before we go on a winter break for 2 weeks on the 22nd and 29th. And then we'll come back on the 5th, and we will talk briefly about how we've done over the previous couple of weeks, but then we'll really narrow in on the previous week before coming back and there. So we're getting to it as we're on our road again to 400 episodes of the podcast. We are running out of time. I do have my football and wrestling team coming on next. But C4, let people know where they can find you. I will do the link for the YouTube channel, which is All Sports Podcast Network. But I'm not sure.
Speaking of WWE, I don't know if I can get my computer to do this. But let's see if you can see.
Oh, nice.
Hello, kitty cat.
Just give them a second. I don't know if you could see them both.
Oh, they're about to do some sort of wrestling move?
They do. Oh, nope, Sebastian's walking away.
All right.
They were over there wrestling. Those 2 are WWE. Like, all together. It's like, I don't even have to watch it. I have 2 cats that take care of it for me.
Right.
So, let's see. I think we're recording, I don't know, whenever Marcus feels like it. Pretty much. Usually we record the Caps Off the Chain on Wednesdays. We post that to YouTube. It usually comes up on Wednesday nights. We are right now only on YouTube. I think we're going to expand into maybe Apple Podcasts, maybe Spotify, maybe wherever they go. We're talking about that. But right now we're only on YouTube. He did a mock draft today. I think it was a hockey one. I can tell you in a second. Let's see.
He loves his mock drafts.
He does. Yes, he did an NHL mock draft that should be up. He did on also a prospect showcase. I don't know if that is a hockey one or not. But yeah, so we'll be recording, I think, Off the Chain on Wednesday. He's going to do a wrestling one, I think, also tomorrow. I think at 5. Hold on a minute. or maybe
So
3.
the wrestling show, is that something he just does by himself, or does he have somebody else?
No, I'm on it sometimes, and then his friends Ryan and Ryan's brother Justin are on it.
You do.
They're gonna record that one at 3 tomorrow.
You do the audio like you did the other one where we were on.
He does it on YouTube. Like, yeah, it's the same setup as the other ones. Yeah.
Nice.
Our next live stream is, I think, gonna be after Thanksgiving. We might be live streaming the one on the 20th, because most of them we're gonna try and do the. I don't know if we're not gonna live stream the Islanders because we're gonna be at the Hershey game.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. Well, next week you can let us know.
Our next one is. I don't think he set up the December live streams yet, but.
Well, next week you can tell us how the Hershey one went, especially because hockey fights cancer and all those.
Right. Yeah, and he'll be at Saturday's game and Sunday's game. He's going Saturday night with our friend Jared. Then we'll be there Sunday night. So yeah, it's gonna be busy.
Awesome. Well, we'll have C4 back on next week. Gil, let people know briefly about this past podcast that you just did and what your plans are for the upcoming one.
Yeah, so our latest episode runs a little long. We had, of course, the 4 games to cover and all of those goals, as you just saw here. So, yeah, we run a little bit long. Pardon me. Got a couple special messages, one having to do with hockey fights cancer, of course. Just about everybody in our crew has been affected in one way or another. So I got my annual message about that. So that's what you can look forward to. 77 minutes of podcast, so you don't have to pay for any of it. So I hope you enjoy. Next week, I think we're planning on recording after the Islanders game, so it's going to be 4 games again, I think, in that coverage. So it might run a little long too, but that's it's next Sunday afternoon is going to be when, or late Sunday night is actually going to be when the next episode comes out. And then, as Robbie said, they got a long road trip ahead of him. So hopefully week after next, we have a feature where we can say, the Caps had California screaming on such a winter's break.
There you go.
No, that would be good, especially because we have to stay up so late to watch those games, which always kills me. But Gil, I appreciate it as always. C4, great, and thank you guys both for all the great coverage and going to the game. And it's always fun to see all the shots, and I'm happy that I'm in both of your guys' Facebook rooms now. So lots of exciting hockey talk to be had, and. In this season for sure, and thank you both so much. And Sith has joined the chat, so we'll do our wrestling crossover here. But I appreciate all your time always, C4 and Gil, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. And we will talk to you guys next week.
Sounds like a plan.
And Anna is not going to be back on next week, but she will be back on for the birthday podcast for people who are interested.
Awesome.
And
Gotcha.
an update for that. But we'll have C4 and Gil back on next week. So we'll talk to you then.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Night.
All right. With that, we're going to switch over. We're going to bring in Dan, the Sith Lord, and also DC's People's Champ. Sorry that the
Sith, you normally don't join until they leave. For next time. When they leave, then we come in.
You're fine. It's a crossover segment. It's wrestling, and
well, that would be a disqualification for outside interference.
No, it's fine. Sith, you like the Penguins, right? If I remember correctly, that's your hockey team.
But the fact remains, Lord, they're shambles right now. They are. When you've got guys that want to stay on, retire together, when they really should just go ahead and retire instead of saying, "Oh, we need to retire together." Just retire already, because you're not helping the team rebuild at all. You're just forcing ownership and management to keep paying you guys because y'all want to keep playing until your heads fall off. Let these newer guys build in, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Crosby, Malkin, and Letang are like,
the best
no,
players
we
ever.
have to go out together. Come on, please.
Yeah. I still can't believe how many goals Crosby can put up, though. Both him and Ovechkin, just incredible stuff. At this point in their career, it's wild to me.
It's been amazing to watch the two of them come in practically around the same time. And the two of them have been like this.
Yeah.
On an even keel their entire careers. And these are two stars that when they eventually retire, I would like the NHL media to stop saying, oh, we have the next Gretzky, we have the next Lemieux, we have the next Crosby. Just stop already.
Yeah.
That's what I explained on the basement several weeks ago. The problem with Connor McDavid is when he was in juniors, they automatically started comparing him to Crosby, Lemieux, and Gretzky. That the guy just never had a fair chance. It was like LeBron here in the States with the NBA. When he was in high school, they were already comparing him to Jordan already before he even graduated high school. And people want to know why he keeps trying to compare himself to Jordan. That's why, because the media just built him up like that. It's just insane.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right, well, let's talk a little bit of wrestling. I just watched the end of Raw. It was an exciting finish, devolved for sure. But I love this War Games setup, and it'll be interesting to see how, at the very beginning of the show, it looked like it'd be interesting to see how the good guys keep it together and don't have infighting. But then obviously when the big enemy comes out, you can see them all gather together and fight. It was actually a pretty good tag team match up until that point, too. And also in the Last Man Standing tournament. Have you guys, I just wanted to ask this, have you guys seen the spoilers for SmackDown for this week or no? Or have you avoided them?
I haven't.
Okay,
no.
good. All right.
Well, avoid it.
All right, good for you guys. I will then not spoil who the Last Man Standing extra person is. It was an interesting choice for sure.
Reaction on two things real quick off of Bleacher Report grades.
Yeah.
Walter versus Mello got a B.
Mm-hmm. I missed it, so I didn't see that fight. What was your thought?
Yeah, Champ, Mello versus Walter from Eric Burge got a B.
You already said that. I heard you the first time, and I'll react on Friday.
Oh, okay. The overall grade was a C.
I'll react on Friday. I don't have the mental capacity right now to react.
Yeah, he tripping.
Did you think it was a good fight or not? Just in general.
I thought the match was absolutely awesome. Where Walters had 2 weeks in a row where he's gone over. Absolutely. But he has made sure that last week was Javon Evans, tonight Carmelo Hayes, that they looked phenomenal in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And like what I said on the episode that Champ and I recorded Friday night, I think, losing track of my days here, but no, a couple, this past episode that we recorded together, one thing that I pointed out is Walter made Javon look like a fucking star. Odds I went backstage and said, this kid's got it. And he probably said the same thing about Melo tonight. This kid's got it. You'd be stupid to sleep on him. Right.
Well, that's what the whole point of this tournament in some ways is to try to showcase the talent that they have going forward, and so it'll be interesting to see. I want to get your guys' gut reaction. Do you think that the IC title changes back to Dominic Mysterio, or does it last to the tournament and then, or do you think that he retires with it, the IC title? So there's kind of three different ways it could fall, either in this match, the next match, or he retires with it. I'll start with Sith. What are your thoughts?
Undecided, because I think it could go either Cena retires with it, which I would not complain. Usually, the champ, someone tries goes on their back. But if Walter's the opponent, I would love for Cena to retire the belt and have a tournament for the IC title, because Walter doesn't need the IC title. But if they're planning on having Walter get out of the tournament, then I would actually get the belt back on Dom this Saturday night at Survivor Series War Games. And as I said, right now, my prediction's in a state of influx right now, because I'm not going to spoil what happened on Raw tonight as far as Dom is concerned. But
Robbie saw it, so you can spoil it.
Oh, yeah. Cena's music hit.
Oh, yeah.
And the midget came in. The midget guy that does Cena's thing came in, and Dom just took a piss all over him.
Yeah. Champ, what are your thoughts? Do you think the IC turn goes back to Dominic? Do you think it's at the tournament, or do you think he retires with it? Do you have a gut feeling?
I wanted for Sheamus to win this tournament, face Cena, win the IC title so he can get the career Grand Slam as well. But because he ended up having to withdraw from the tournament due to injury, I feel like they're going to put the title back on Dom, and then that way they make it Walter versus Cena with no title on the line, just Cena's last match. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I kind of think that that's the way it's going to go too. But it'll be interesting to see. It's we'll definitely have something to talk about next week, right? Because that Survivor
Series is this Saturday.
This Saturday, right? Yeah. So they did already tape SmackDown. So I did like that they give them a little bit of a Thanksgiving and a buffer, so that way that they have some time with their family before coming to it. I think that's a really cool thing that they do in WWE. They do that, I think, also for Christmas time, if I remember correctly, as well.
Yes. They are going to be doing a double recording of SmackDown. It's the second Thursday in December. They're going to do a double taping of SmackDown right before Christmas, so that way they have an episode for a live episode of SmackDown, and they're going to have a taped episode of SmackDown around Christmas, because Christmas is on a Thursday this year. So I think the 18th is when they're doing the double taping. So that way they have a SmackDown on like the day after Christmas, and then that way, I think they're doing a house show either the 27th or the 28th for the holiday tour, and then it's going to be, I think, a live Raw that Monday after Christmas, maybe. And then I think maybe I don't know I don't know the exact schedule, but I know that Christmas and New Year's in this new regime, they tend to give them that time off to be with families, and then they get back up to live shows after that. So, but I know that I think the 17th is a double taping so that they can be off for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of. I just seen on Monday Night Football, they're saying that Eagles at Chargers are going to do one of those animated ones again. Like this one's going to be on ESPN2 and Disney Plus, where basically it's like Monsters Inc. characters are going to be battling against each other, but it's going to be based on the real-time scoring data from the game. So those are kind of fun sometimes for kids who
drop their schedule, courtesy of Warner Brothers Discovery, and at least for now on paper, on December 27th, there won't be a tailgate special. At least not that's one's advertised right now, but they are going to have the week before Christmas. Dynamite's going to be 3 hours again, followed by a half-hour countdown to World's End, because they're going to try to do that 3-hour thing again the week before Christmas, then have a pre-tape show for Dynamite Collision for Christmas week. And then that'll go into World's End on the 27th. And that's when the WWE is starting back up their holiday tours on the 27th. They'll get New Year's Eve off, I think, and then get back on the road on the 2nd. And then the first Raw in 2026 after that, they go on a couple of weeks of a European tour. Then they do a SmackDown in Saturday night's main event the week before the Royal Rumble. Then they go to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble 2 days after my birthday.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's been an exciting year for wrestling for sure. It's been fun to break it down with you guys. Anything else that you guys want to talk about in tonight's Raw or last week's SmackDown that you think is that really has you excited? I'll start with you, Seth.
SmackDown last Friday night was the best SmackDown in quite some time.
Yeah.
It really was. I went in there with, measured expectations. Got done watching it because I was watching it as Champ and I were recording the episode of No Spots. And it looks like my network might be going down again. Fuck. Oh, no, it just came back on. Okay. But I went in there with measured expectations, knowing well that the following night we're watching Full Gear together, which was a lot of fun to live react to. And SmackDown was the best one in at least a month and a half, where what it was in the entire show would be plus, as far as the grade is concerned. Because after I got done thinking to myself, where was this episode of SmackDown when we needed it? I mean, my God. Usually with SmackDown beforehand, the open challenges for the United States Championship is kind of like your high point. Things kind of came together Friday night for the most part. And I'm like, Road Dogg, this is what we need, dude. This is what we need.
Champ, what are some of your thoughts on it?
SmackDown was cool. That's all I got. SmackDown was cool. Full Gear was cool. I'll talk about Full Gear more on Friday on this weekend, but yeah, SmackDown was good. It was a great way to continue to build towards Survivor Series, and so and that's what you want from your shows when you're on when you're on the road to a pay-per-views. You want them to continue to get you hyped for the show, and I was already hyped for Survivor Series, but now I'm really hyped for Survivor Series, and they continue to really build it up really good. But the fear is that they're hyping it so much that it could turn out to be a dud and be like, why the fuck did I watch this? So that's the fear that I have, is that we have all these high expectations with these two War Games matches with like star-studded people in these War Game matches, that they could turn out to be duds, and we're sit there and be like, this was a bad pay-per-view. So that's what I got for that.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I'll be fun to get your guys' take on next week for sure, to see what your thoughts are after it, because I think this could. I mean, it has the potential to be the best War Games ever, just in straight star power. But as you said, as we know as Commanders fans, paper doesn't mean everything, So if we can have the best offseason, we get the best build-up, it doesn't always lead to the best results. So, but that's awesome. But Seth, I know that your time is short. Is there any particular part of the NFL week that was or is upcoming that you wanted to chit-chat about, or anything else that's on your mind before you give a shout out to what's on the basement this week?
Want to see more Shedeur Sanders. He had it. Yeah, it was against the Raiders, and we can always crap on that. But he had a pretty good game yesterday, and I get that he was excited. I would be too. But now, if you're going to be the starter going forward for the rest of the year, and I think that's what they should do, even though Dylan Gabriel's clear concussion protocol, I think I would still start Shador until the wheels fall off. Because if you get him going and the team keeps winning, you might have your QB2 right there and waiting, and it's possible that you may not have to go early in the draft to get a quarterback. So I think the next couple of weeks, I think down the stretch in Cleveland, this will determine whether or not um, this will determine the trajectory for Cleveland in the draft because they have two first round draft picks in the next draft. I think the next couple of weeks will determine whether or not they go yet again for another quarterback, or if they say, we're going to rock with Gabriel and Sanders and see what these two can do and maybe bring in someone later on. With the Commanders, I stand by what I said last week, which was I would start Mariota the rest of the season unless it's absolutely certain that Jaden Daniels is ready to go. Because you really don't want to keep him coming into the games. And it's a chance that you have to take with your starting quarterback. But this is the second time he was injured this season. So maybe having Mariota finish out the season wouldn't be a bad idea, especially since we're 3-8 now. The best we can finish is 9-8, which wouldn't be bad. It would be over 500. But we would have to close out. We have Denver, Minnesota. We have Minnesota and Denver, and then we close out with division. So we do not have we have one of the toughest schedules coming out of the bye week for the rest of the season because Minnesota is a pretty good team. Denver's a good team. Philly, we know they're good. Dallas is good when they're firing on all cylinders. When they're not. And the Giants, we're better than the Giants, but that's not really saying much.
Yeah, I can't believe Dallas came back in that game. I watched part of that.
Yeah, Champ, tell him because I agree with you.
That was Dallas's biggest comeback in their franchise history. Imagine they've won multiple Super Bowls. They've been around a long time, and that was their largest comeback in their franchise history. As Jawan Jennings is out here acting like an idiot. What the hell is he doing? Like, that's going to be a fine.
What did he do? I missed it.
He just was like, he went up to somebody and pie-faced them and then started looking for a fight with almost everybody. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you guys won. Why are you acting like you lost?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's gonna face some. He's gonna face some kind of. He's gonna face some kind of discipline for that.
Yeah, they're saying it's because of like him falling on it or something. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, that's crazy. It kind of reminded me of the Aggies game a couple weeks ago. I know I haven't been talking about them because I don't want to jinx them. They are undefeated. And everyone knows I'm a big Texas A&M fan. I took them in my vows, as Liz took at the time, the Redskins. So I don't know if you saw this, but the Aggies allowed 27 to be down 27-0 at halftime against a South Carolina team that they should be beating. They just couldn't do anything. Every time they tried to score, they'd have an interception. It looked like the worst game I'd ever seen. They don't allow a single point in the second half, and they go 28-0 in the second half and ended up winning the game to go to 9-0. Now they're 10-0, I believe. It reminded me a lot of that game where, the Eagles had everything going right and Dallas had everything going wrong to start, and then the second half it just was a complete 180. But yeah, crazy week and pick 'em up and down. I am excited because I was able to topple one of my best friends, Benson, and take the number one spot, tied with my father-in-law with 100 points this week. Seth, you had a good week as well. You also had 100 points. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. It'll be an interesting week upcoming. But Seth, I'll let you.
Hey, everybody who's watching and listening, notice he didn't mention my week. Notice that shit, because my week sucked. So notice he didn't mention that. I just wanted to point that out. That's all.
There you go. I was trying to be sly about it. I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus, but but obviously, Champ had to take some risks, and some weeks it works and some weeks it doesn't. Champ, last week you had 120 points. That's a great week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you don't take risks, you're not living. That's all I see. That's the way I see it.
There you go.
I'm like they said on the episode of Hell's Kitchen, we're already in the shit. Why don't we get further in the shit? So
at this point, you gotta do what you gotta do. I understand. Sith, I'll let people know what's happening in the basement, and we'll let you get out of here. And Champ and I will recap the week that was for the NFL.
Cool. The basement that came out yesterday was 50 franchises that I've seen in their entirety, including Wrong Turn and Children of the Corn. And speaking of franchises that I won't rank or tier or count down, I actually canceled the possible TikTok countdown because I'd started to sit down, finally watch Silent Night, Death Night, the franchise. After the second film, I said, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not finishing this. The movie was so bad where I just turned it off and I was like, fuck it, we're done. We're not going to do it. So when the second remake comes out in a couple of weeks, I'll just give a quick review on it, but it's not going to be like the full franchise, because after the second film, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to be worth it. And on the basement this Sunday at 5 p.m., one of our favorite franchises of all time, Bond, James Bond.
That's a great one.
Yeah, where there's not I'm doing all 25 Eon production films, and there's not a single bad one at all.
I haven't seen the last two Bond movies, but I had seen all of them up until then. Were the last two good, Seth?
I thought they were good, but a lot like the bottom half of the Bond franchise in my ranking. Flawed, but good.
Interesting. I'll have to at some point.
And the one thing I'll say about Daniel Craig's Bond before I go is Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity and Bourne Supremacy. Those films kind of set the tone for what Daniel Craig as James Bond would be film tone-wise, as far as darkness is concerned and whatnot. Because a lot of people complained, oh, God, this is too dark. And I'm like, this is making License to Kill from '89, which is one of my favorite Bond movies, look like it didn't need to have an R rating.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rating support has kind of gotten a little bit looser than it has been with the rating system since '89 when License to Kill came out and rocked out the theater. I'm like, why wasn't this rated R?
Right. I will say I did
that movie, but
see Wicked twice this weekend. My wife saw it 3 times, and so I saw it with the kids. The kids said it. I was thinking about you were talking about dark movies. The kids thought it was too dark compared to the first one, which is what my fear was when I saw it on Thursday. But they really wanted to see it, so I let them. But yeah, I like the movie, but definitely the first one's a better movie for people. My wife is a huge theater major, and we saw Wicked on Broadway, and so it's always been a big thing in our family. And but it was entertaining, so I definitely recommend people checking that out as well. But everyone should definitely check.
Jess saw Wicked this past weekend. She wants to go see it again as a date night, so I was like, yeah, we can do that. Though I've never seen the movie, so.
Wait, you should definitely go see the first one first, though. Like, I highly recommend
Prime Video.
Yeah, it is. Or rent it on a Prime Video if it's not like to stream. I actually own the copy just because my kids watch it all the time. And but the first one is better, and you kind of need to see it because it sets up the entire second story. Like they're basically one movie split in half. So I wouldn't recommend seeing the second half of a movie without seeing the first half. It's just my 2 cents on that, Champ. I mean, you can do it, but I think the first one's better, and it sets up the entire story. The second one is basically The Wizard of Oz. Have you ever seen the original Wizard of Oz?
No.
I would also recommend watching that potentially too, because this is the same movie from a different perspective, which is interesting into itself, where the first Wicked movie is like a prequel. Does that make sense? So it's like the first half is a prequel, the second half is Wizard of Oz from the bad guy's point of view. Right? Okay. So it's kind of like the heel story. Anyway, so that's how I would look at it. I know it's a lot of homework to watch a movie, but I did both this past week, watched all of them again, and it helps. I'll put it that way. And it was cool to see the director in the shots that they tried to literally reverse them in certain scenes, like with using shadows. So if you look in the shadows, you can see scenes from the original movie done in reverse. Kind of cool stuff I was a filmmaker, from that point of view, which I thought was kind of cool. But you wouldn't get any of that without any background knowledge. Seth.
Okay.
I said this earlier, and I'm in total agreement with him. Some of y'all with the funny. Batman Returns from 1992 is a Christmas movie.
I like it. So you also agree Die Hard is a Christmas movie, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I have to watch Die Hard on Christmas Eve, along with Monty Python's Life of Brian and the Rest. If I don't watch those 3 movies, it's not Christmas yet.
Right.
So it's like I start off Christmas Eve night with The Ref with Dennis Leary, which is my favorite film from 1994, which is just so darkly funny, it's hysterical. Robbie, I'll send you the trailer in the group chat. You're going to be crying.
I'm surprised you don't watch a Muppets Christmas movie. That's one of my favorite. That's
a goodie.
Yeah.
But then I go to Monty Python's Life of Brian, which is Monty Python doing a film that's been banned in several countries for blasphemy, on a funny take of the life of Christ when a guy is mistaken for being Christ who was born next to him. And then at around 9:45 on Christmas Eve, I sit down. I've had my tea. The dog's under covers. I sit down and I watch Die Hard. And usually the ending of Die Hard hits right at midnight.
That's awesome. I love it. That's great. All right, Seth, I appreciate your time as always. I'm sorry that we had to bump you to a later segment, but I always appreciate the wrestling and the football and the movie talk. So I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.
You guys too. I'll let Champ plug No Spots at the end of the show because we've got a pretty fun weekend lined up for you guys there. And if y'all are looking for a Thanksgiving movie to watch from 87, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's what the old man watches every year. John Candy, Steve Martin. Except for a tart at a rental car, desk. It's a PG-13 movie, except for 20 F-bombs in one scene.
Yeah, I saw a John Candy documentary, the I Like Me, which
yes,
yeah, that I saw it a couple weeks ago. I thought that was really well done, and I highly recommend that as well. But Tina Fey,
I cried watching that because I grew up being a big fan of John Candy and whatnot. So I was just like, oh my God.
He is amazing. Thank you, Tina, for 37 months. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. All right, Seth, we'll let you get out of here, and Champ and I will recap the week that was, but have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.
My brothers here on the pod, good night to everyone in the chat. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Awesome.
See ya.
Thank you, Seth. And
you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. With that, we're going to switch over to some football talk. I'll I'll quickly go through the scores from this past week. I'll let Champ pick 2 or 3 games that he wants to chat about, and then we'll take a look at the week ahead, and I'll let him do the same. So we got the Bills, Texans. I was surprised by this, but Texans were able to pull it out and to go up to 6-5. They've had a resurgence the second half of the season, and the Bills, who look like they were unbeatable to start the season, has faltered a little bit down the stretch here. We got the Bears and Steelers. This one went back and forth on last week. The Bears did hold on and get this victory. The Lions, Giants, very close matchup in overtime. The Lions are able to hold on, but the Giants gave them a fight.
That's one of the games I want to definitely talk about.
Okay, we'll definitely come back to that one. The Packers-Vikings game. I love the Packers fans doing the skull chant or their version of it afterwards, just to taunt the Vikings. That's a great rivalry. And the Packers really made the Vikings look pretty bad. The Colts, Indianapolis Chiefs. I was almost right on this upset. I still consider it an upset, even though the Colts are higher, have more wins, but it's in Kansas City, and you know how the refs are. The Colts almost had it, but the Chiefs, signed away at the end of the game and end up getting an overtime victory. And that one, the Jets-Ravens, was close for a time, but the Ravens were able to pull away with the victory. Seahawks-Titans, as expected, the Seahawks go into Tennessee and get a big-time win. The Patriots continue their hot streak. They're now up to 10 wins, which is remarkable. Win 26-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns and Raiders. Shedeur Sanders, his first NFL start. There's a debate raging online on how good can he be, and I'm still not sold on him, to be totally honest. I think he was in a great system in college. I do think that he can get an occasional win over a team like the Raiders, but I think he's an average quarterback. I mean, where you got him in the draft, I think that he's better than, obviously, that position. I think he's maybe like a 3rd or 4th rounder. I don't necessarily think he's a first rounder, like some had originally projected, but we'll see. I want him to play out the rest of the season and give us a little bit of a larger sample size. The Jaguars continue their good play, but a very close game against the Arizona Cardinals. Only beat them by a field goal there. We talked about this Eagles-Cowboys game where the Eagles scored 21 points. We're up 21-0, and the Cowboys scored 24 straight unanswered. Then we got the Falcons and the Saints in the night game. The Falcons were able to beat the Saints, who are pretty pathetic this year. And then that wasn't the night game. That was the later afternoon game. And then we got the Buccaneers and the Rams. That was the night game. 34-7. The Rams able to handle the Buccaneers. I actually thought the Buccaneers would put up more of a fight in this one. I was surprised by how bad of a dominating victory it was. And the 49ers just finished beating the Carolina Panthers. So congratulations to Anna Knox. 20-9 in that one. But Champ, which game do you want to start with?
Let's start with the Browns Raiders. Raiders is just a bad team, but Shedeur Sanders made history. It was the last time a Cleveland Browns quarterback made their first start for the Browns as quarterback and won Week 1, 1995, over 30 years ago.
Wow.
It's been 30 years since a Cleveland quarterback made their first career start, and won. And Shedeur Sanders was able to do that. Now, are the perception of him going to change? Probably not, unless he continues to play well and actually does well against a quality team and not a team like the Raiders. But he did look fairly well in this game. He made some really good throws. He made some good decisions. He had one good throw that was done that went to Jerry Jeudy, and then Jerry Jeudy decided he was going to do some showboating and ended up fumbling the fucking ball. And then he got his first career NFL passing touchdown in the regular season on a screen pass. So his running back made him look good on that one. But I think that if Shedeur Sanders goes out and plays fairly well against a quality opponent, I think some perceptions of him are going to change. But this game is not going to change a lot of people's perceptions because the Raiders just absolute dog shit.
I gotta read to you real quickly who they got coming up. They got this 49ers team that's rounded into form.
They're going to get their ass beat.
Right. Then they got Tennessee. They can win that one.
They'll win that one.
Then they got to go to Chicago.
That'll be interesting. The
Then
way
they gotta
Chicago's playing, I think Chicago beat their ass.
Right. Then they got to get a home game, but this was against Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo beat their ass for real.
And then they got to play Pittsburgh. That was also a home game, but
well, Pittsburgh's been playing too much up and too inconsistent. That could be one they can get. That's a division game too.
Right, and then they end the season at Cincinnati, which with the Joe Burrow back. So
well, Burrow's coming back this week, which I'm pretty sure a lot of Baltimore fans are a little bit pissed off that they were hoping that he would be starting so that the Ravens could jump on him, but no, they're going to jump on Burrow. So there you go.
Yeah, so not a lot of easy games for the Browns in that mix. They actually have a pretty hard schedule for who they are.
But clearly, Kevin Stefanski and that staff have some belief in Shedeur Sanders that they are not even going to put Gabriel back in after clearing concussion protocol, Seth mentioned earlier. So clearly, there's something there. So we're not seeing it yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see it.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the right call. I think that they needed something like this to happen to make a call like that because you can't put a guy that you draft lower in higher up. You know what I mean? Like, the optics make you look real bad, but he's hurt. Now we give him a shot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The optics look better this way in some ways. That like he fell into the position. You know, like we don't have to hurt anybody's feelings now. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here. One or two other games from
Giants, Lions, and look, here's how deep into this one I was. I actually went and researched this shit because of how incredible offensively this game was. Both teams combined for 1,011 yards of total offense. This is rare that offenses can combine for over 1,000 yards. As a matter of fact, this is only the 8th time in NFL history that both teams have combined for over 1,000 yards of total offense. The last time a game had over 1,000 yards of total offense, you have to go back over 7 years ago. Super Bowl 52, Eagles, Patriots, and they hold the record for the most offensive yards by two teams, 1,151 yards. No team has done that before. No team has done that since. The last regular season game that featured a 1,000-yard offensive performance combined for both teams was back on week 1 in 1992, the famous no-punt game between the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers at Old Candlestick Park. It was the very first game of the season. Both Steve Young and Jim Kelly threw for 400 yards. That was the first time in history that two quarterbacks threw for over 400 yards. And also, it was called the no-punt game because it was the first time in NFL history that neither team punted the ball the entire game. They combined for 1,086 yards of total offense between the two of them.
Wow.
And there have been 6 playoff games that have featured over 1,000 yards of total offense. So that's how rare this game was and how crazy this game was. And what it also made this game special was just showcasing how good Jahmyr Gibbs is as both a running back and in the pass game. 264 total yards from scrimmage, 179 of them on the ground, and 3 touchdowns.
I'm surprised this game is not a higher scoring game with all those stats. You know,
it wasn't a high. The reason why it wasn't a higher scoring game, and I'll tell you why, because defense. Both defenses did show up. Let's put it that way. They did show it. The scoreboard doesn't show it. It's a combined score of 61 points. So the scoreboard doesn't show it, but trust and believe defenses show up. Both defenses got a turnover. Okay, the interceptions. So defense did show up. Also, there were 4 sacks in this game, 3 for the Giants, 1 for Detroit, and there were 8 punts. So yeah, defense was there. It just wasn't there enough. That's why it wasn't too much of a high-scoring game because defense did do what they needed to do, and plus the third down efficiency was 50% for the Giants, and it was 5 of 12 for the Lions. So they weren't staying on the field much. But yeah,
that's crazy that they punted that many times and yet they had that much yardage. You know, like
exactly.
Yeah,
8 punts between the two of them. The Lions punted it 5 times, the Giants 3 times. But what also stood out to me was Jameis Winston looking like a fucking tight end on that trick play, breaking a tackle of a DB and getting into the end zone. Crab Legs Winston went crazy in this game. He went crazy. I think that he might have solidified that starting spot. I don't know if Jackson Dart's going to come back on the field. I don't know if Jameis continues to play this well, and especially if they win next week. I don't know if you put Jackson Dart back on the field. I think you keep Jackson Dart on the sidelines to learn and let Jameis just close out the season because they're already the first team eliminated from the playoffs. They have nothing to play for at this point. Nothing. So you might as well just ride it out with Jameis, see what you got in Jameis, because you know what you got in Russell Wilson, trash. You already know Jackson Dart's probably your quarterback for the future, but let Jameis finish the season off as a starter and do what you got to do.
All right. Any other games real quick before we switch over?
Colts and Chiefs, man. I mean, Colts had that game. There's two other games I want to talk about. Colts and Chiefs. This is gonna be quick. Chiefs just are somehow finding a way to stay in it. There was a talk by Jim Nantz and Tony Romo that if they lose this game, there's a possibility they may not play in January. And then they turn around and win in overtime to keep their hopes alive to make the playoffs because they've been in the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years, or even more so than that. But this was a game they had to have. And they had it. And in the other game, Dallas and Philly had it, and they sold it. They were up 21-0. What was I doing? I was doing Grubhub, and I was picking up an order from 7-Eleven near my apartment, and the guy who was getting my order was saying, yeah, the Cowboys get spanked by the Eagles. I was like, oh, shit. And then I get home because I turned off Red Zone on my phone, and I get back home, and I see that the Cowboys started coming back, and I'm like, wait, I thought they were whooping their ass. They scored 24 unanswered points to win this game in overtime.
And there's a point where they could cut it to what was it? They were down 14. They could cut it to 11, which I thought was going to be important, and they missed the field goal. And I was like, it's kind of over. So I was actually at the amusement park. I was at King's Dominion yesterday. I was scoreboard watching a little bit while we were doing roller coasters because no one was there. No one knew it was open because King's Dominion was supposed to close at the beginning of the month, but then they decided to keep like one section of the park open because they're not doing Winterfest just to gain a little bit more revenue. And like it was empty because no one knows it was even open except for season ticket holders. So pretty much, unless you're like following the forums, and it was great. We were just getting on all the big coasters, no lines. It was awesome. We had a hell of a day. But like on the way home, I was watching some of that game, and then I was like kind of bored with it. And then we have Prestige passes, so we were watching the game in the Prestige Lounge while we were having some dinner, and I was like, this game, if they're not gonna make this field goal, it's over, right? And then I sort of stopped paying attention on my phone, and same thing. And then next thing I do, I get a scoring alert that they took the lead. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe it.
What also killed the Eagles as well was turnovers at most inopportune times. Saquon fumble, which Dallas took, though Dallas couldn't do anything with it, and so they punted, and then the punter fumbles on the ensuing punt, and I think that's what really killed the Eagles' momentum was those two fumbles in a short span of time, and I think that's what killed whatever momentum they were trying to build, and here they are with a loss to a division rival after they had them up by 3 scores, and they hadn't even scored yet. Unacceptable. You're the defending Super Bowl champions, and they did you like that. That's crazy. Though a part of that is there was that motivation because it was the first home game since their teammate took his life. Because they had their first game since he took his life, but it was on the road in Vegas. So this is their first home game without him. So there was that extra motivation because they did a tribute to him before the game. They had the shirts on underneath the jerseys, everything like that. So, they had that extra motivation. I think that's what spurred them on to win this game and things like that. I think that motivation from losing a teammate in that manner is going to spur on this Dallas Cowboys team. This Cowboys team, and I said last week I wasn't going to give these guys kudos ever again, but here I am. I think that this team has become a dangerous team because they have something to play for and someone to play for. And that's going to make this team very dangerous. And when you have a dual threat at wide receiver in George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, you're going to be a very dangerous team. I am scared to play this team in Washington in December.
Yeah, this upcoming schedule for the Cowboys, this next game is going to be huge for both Kansas City and Dallas because basically whoever loses it, I think, doesn't make the playoffs, right? And so they both really need it. So that's going to be a really crazy game. Then Dallas goes to Detroit. They play a Minnesota, the Chargers, and then at Washington and at New York to end the season. I think the funniest thing could happen. I think they could go 8-1 and potentially miss the playoffs. By a game or a half game would be even funnier.
Yeah.
That wouldn't that be funny if that tie really fucks them? That's what I'm hoping for. Because then they get a terrible schedule for next year, right? Because the teams are right outside the bubble, never really get great draft picks, and never get good schedules, right? Meanwhile, anyway, so that's what I'm hoping for is that they just get close enough, but not get there.
That's the way it's looking. I mean, that's the way it's looking. But again, they're a dangerous team right now. They're figuring it out, and they have two of the best wide receivers in the game at the present. And as long as they can stay on the same page with that, I think that they're going to be a tough team to deal with down the stretch. But this is an interesting week of football, honestly. Very interesting week of football with a lot of results that I was not expecting.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about it. We obviously have Thanksgiving, so our first slate of games are going to be the Thanksgiving games. I'm going to pick them and then get Champ's thoughts on all of them, and then I'll let him have a game or two pick of the rest of the slate. We got the Packers and the Lions. This is a battle of two teams that have 7 wins. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a really close game. I'm going to pick the Lions, but I could see the Packers, winning.
How about the fact that on Thanksgiving we're getting a divisional rivalry game in this one? Like, that's a game you definitely want to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a 1:00 game, which I think is like a really prime time. A lot of people love that 1:00 game because a lot of people do Thanksgiving lunch, like early dinner. Then we got the Chiefs and the Cowboys, the game I was just talking about. What a great second game. I'm going to actually pick the Cowboys here just to hopefully jinx them. It'll be interesting to see where that one goes. And then the night game, as the Ravens and Cincinnati, I'm going to pick the Ravens in this one, but just because they've won 5 in a row after losing 4 in a row, which is huge for them to get above 500. I just don't know how Cincinnati is going to be with their quarterback returning. He could be lights out, and it could be spell trouble for the Ravens, but I don't know.
I don't know. Joe Burrow having Jamar Chase back, and T. Higgins is a question mark because he left the game this week with the concussion. So there's he'll have to pass concussion protocol if he's going to play in this game, and it's a very short turnaround. So I don't expect him to play. But if he does somehow pass concussion protocol between now and Wednesday, then that's going to be a definite interesting scenario, having Joe Burrow back with 2 of his top receivers in the game against Baltimore. That's going to be the determining factor if T. Higgins does clear concussion protocol and plays.
Yeah, I am nervous because it is a divisional rivalry and Cincinnati needs the win. But so does Baltimore. All right, those 3 games. What are your thoughts on them?
2 of the 3 Thanksgiving Day games are rivalry games. I mean, what more can you ask for on Turkey Day? What more can you ask for on Turkey Day is, 2 of the 3 games where they're facing rivals, Detroit and Green Bay, which is a long-time rivalry, Cincinnati and Baltimore, another really good rivalry. I mean, those are 2 games right there that are just absolute highlights to watch. And, those are the only games. There's not going to be regional coverage to deal with. It's just those games and those games alone at their time slot. So you have plenty to watch and to really sink your teeth into when it comes to football on Turkey Day. So I can't wait.
And then the Chiefs are kind of what I think is America's new team. Everybody's like, falling in love with them versus, the old team that called themselves America's team. It's an interesting juxtaposition there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing you got to think about is that, you got the former America's team against the new America's team. So,
yeah,
can't wait.
All right, I'm going to quickly go through these ones. We got Eagles, Bears, 2 8-3 teams. I'm going to pick the Eagles just because of the big time loss that they had. That game is, by the way, on a Friday at 3 o'clock.
Black Friday game.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. I don't remember them doing that.
They did that last year, bro.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just started doing that. I think they started doing that like 2 years ago, having a Black Friday game. So this is the third year in a row that they've done a Black Friday game, which I think is pretty cool because a lot of people are off of work Black Friday. You get done Black Friday shopping and fighting with people in the stores and everything. You come home watching some football.
Right, and that game, since on Prime Video, is probably also on Twitch. So shout out to them. So they usually air those on their Twitch channel. So I would assume that would continue there, especially because they don't. I get it. They get that because they don't get their Thursday game, right? Because it's on Fox, CBS, and NBC. So
correct.
This is a way for them to still get their Thursday game production team and just put it on a Friday. And then we got on Sunday, 1 o'clock games. We got the 49ers and the Browns. I'm going to pick the 49ers. Jaguars, Tennessee. Going to pick the Jags. But this is like those rivalry games that wouldn't shock me if Tennessee, we get their second win. It's one of those things but anyway, we'll see. I'm going to still pick the Jaguars. We got Texans, Colts. Texans are coming on strong, but the Colts, I just feel like once again, in a lot of these games, they let one slip away, and so I feel like they're gonna get one back here. We've got Dolphins and Saints. Wow, it's a brutal game. I'm gonna go with Dolphins in that one. Jets, Falcons. I'm gonna pick the Falcons, who are starting to look a little better again. We got Buccaneers, Cardinals. I'm going to take Tampa Bay Buccaneer again. They got their asses handed to them this week. I think that they need a rebound game. We got Panthers and Rams. I'm going to pick the Rams, but it is in Carolina, so it's something to look out for. And Carolina has surprised people all season long. We got Seahawks and Vikings. I'm going to pick the Seahawks at home with the 12th man. We got Steelers and Bills. That's a great 425 game. Buffalo has been losing some games recently, so I think they need to get back on track. So I'm going to pick them in that one. We got Raiders and Chargers. Always an interesting divisional rivalry. I'm going to pick the Chargers, though, who look kind of dominant at times, and the Raiders have looked horrible at times. We got the Broncos and the Commanders after the bye week. That's our Sunday night football game. I am going to pick the Broncos. They've just looked almost unstoppable so far this season. And then we got Patriots and Giants, a rematch of the Super Bowl that I once saw in Jersey. And I'm going to pick the Patriots in this one to continue the Giants' free fall. Any games you want to talk about, Champ?
Commanders, Broncos first, right. Definitely.
Okay.
So I've been thinking about this game all day. And this game worries me so much because even though Bo Nix doesn't have name recognition at the wide receiver position, they are still really good wide receivers and they have a really good run game. And I think that's what really scares me about this team is that they are good. They've been very good this season. And it just worries me what they've been capable of, what they've been able to do this season. And I just, defensively, they've been a pretty middle of the road, but their defense is still very, very strong. But it's offensively that worries me the most because our offense, their defense, our defense mostly in the past game has been very mediocre, and it really concerns me. Like right now, Bo Nix currently has 2,421 yards passing and has completed 61.2% of his passes, and he has 18 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So he's been really good. J.K. Dobbins is on pace to rush for 1,000 yards. He's at 772 now, and so he's been really good. Cortland Sutton is their leading receiver in yards with 649 yards on 45 catches with 4 touchdowns. And Troy Franklin has been right there as well. Marvin Mims Jr., Evan Ingram at the tight end position. That defense. That offense is just absolutely something to behold. So that's what worries me, is just that right there. And then the other game that I wanted to talk about is definitely Patriots Giants, because of how good they've been. Both, like, Drake May has not looked like he's going through a sophomore slump. Drake May is playing his really good football. The Patriots have been playing. I have not seen the Patriots play this good since when Tom Brady was there with Bill Belichick, when they were building that dynasty.
I didn't know if they'd ever get back here, to be honest. Like the way that it was looking, you know. Like, so.
I think the key factor in this is the coaching. Nothing against Romeo Cornell, not Romeo Cornell. Who was their coach? Jerome Mayo. Nothing against Jerome Mayo, but clearly he wasn't getting across to this team the way that Mike Vrabel is. Because Mike Vrabel has come in. This is his first year as that coach. And this team is on the verge of either winning this division or at least making the wild card with a very good record and really being a dangerous team in January. And I think Mike Vrabel has found a way to unlock that in this team and unlock that with May at quarterback. And it's crazy. And I mean, when you have a receiver like Stephon Diggs back there, I mean, hell, you're going to be very, very dangerous in the passing game. So that Giants team, even though they took a very high-powered offense and the Lions to the limit, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that against the Patriots unless offensively the Giants can match them. And I think with Jameis Winston at quarterback, I somewhat think they can match. They showed us a couple of trick plays yesterday, and I think they got some more tricks in the bag, if you know what I'm saying. And I think that they're going to break out some of those tricks in coming down the stretch because, again, they have nothing else to play for except for pride. They're not going to the playoffs. But they could sure enough really make people take notice and wake up. And then imagine once they get Malik Neighbors back next year, how dangerous this team could be if they can show up and really play well down the stretch. This team could be something special to watch, and that's what scares me because they're in our division.
Yeah. The thing about Mike Vrabel, you know, he was such a core part of why the Titans did really well. I mean, he was their coach for 5 years, and you know, their fall off since he's left, you know, I think that he wasn't the reason they weren't doing well, and it shows. Like, they were starting to do worse, and then they just, like, fell off a cliff after he left.
Yeah, that has to be studied. That has to be studied, the fact that they fired Mike Vrabel, he goes to the Patriots, and now the Patriots are one of the best teams in the league this year, while the Titans are absolutely the worst.
Right.
That has to be studied.
Right, he was definitely the fall guy. You know what I mean? Like, and unnecessarily so. And I'm happy for him. You know, he's a New England Patriots legend, and so for him to get to go back there and do it is really a great thing. And I've always really liked him as a player, even though I wasn't a big fan of the Patriots back then. But I think he's always played really well, and obviously they go to battle for him, and yeah, I'm excited to see, you know, where things go with that one for sure. Anyway, lots of great games coming up this week. Definitely that Eagles-Bears game is one for me to look out for sure.
Jalen Hurts versus Caleb Williams, yes sir.
Yeah,
absolutely, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, so that one's that Friday game. And I'll probably be at a movie then. I know that me and my family have always done the, Sith was talking about his family traditions and his traditions doing movies and things like that. I have cousins who, ever since we were little kids, we'd always go to the Disney movie for Thanksgiving, and we've done it for like 30 plus years now. And because there's always a Disney movie that comes out, and so this year it's going to be Zootopia 2, and so I'm excited to take the kids. Now they join us on our fun adventures, which is kind of cool to pass it down to the next generation. And yeah, I'm excited to see that. So I may miss it live. I'll definitely watch the highlights for sure for that one. I am going to stop the share there and let you talk a little bit about what's happening this week on the No Spots podcast.
Absolutely. So we will record episode 310 on this Friday. We're going to recap AEW Full Gear, which was another long pay-per-view, 13 matches total, including on the Tailgate Brawl, which was on TNT. So we'll talk about that, and we'll get you ready for Survivor Series War Games. Previewing the right now, I think it's a 4-match card. It's 2 championship matches. Dirty Dom versus Cena for the IC title. Stephanie Becerra versus Nikki Bella for the women's world title, as well as the 2 War Games matches. So we'll talk about those 2, and that's going to be coming up Friday night. Saturday, Sith will be going solo, doing live reactions to Survivor Series because my honey and I are doing an all-day date type of thing. We're going to do couples massages at 12:30 on Saturday. Then we are going to do a date night dinner on Saturday night. So I won't be present to be able to watch Survivor Series. We'll be spending the day together and stuff like that. But Sith will be with you on both Kick, Twitch, and Facebook to live react to Survivor Series and things like that.
Quick question for you. So how does he remotely control your OBS? Do you just set it up for him and then he just goes?
I don't even know. I didn't even think about all that. Honestly, he would do is just watch the thing and just talk to the camera. That was all. Right. That's all he would do.
Right.
That's all
I just didn't know if you're gonna set up your OBS to stream it for him or.
No, I am, and I'm gonna send him the Zoom link. He's gonna get on Zoom, and then I'll start it before I go to dinner because our dinner reservation is until 7:30, and it's not too far from my apartment, so I could just start it on OBS, and then he could just go.
Right, and then you'll be back before it ends. Is that the idea, or like?
I'm not sure. I haven't even thought about that. I'm not even sure. Like, if anything, I wish I could set up OBS on my phone and then be able to stop it while I'm out if it ends. But the fact that it's starting at 7 and we're at dinner at 7:30, we're not going to be out until 10. I don't see that happening. We'll probably be there, probably be home before 10, so I'll be able to stop it whenever I need to stop it and stuff like that. Push come to shove, I'll bring my laptop. If I have to stop it, I'll stop it. But it is what it is. I'll get to I'll get to that bridge. I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it'd just be easier just to have him go live on YouTube, but or not YouTube, on
Facebook.
On yeah. But you guys do whatever you guys want to do. Or anyway, we could talk offline. We could always set up a quick OBS where it's just his camera and use the same stream key, and then he could start it and stop it on his computer. But anyway, we can talk about that.
I think, I love Sith, but I think you have way too much faith in him when it comes to technology. I really do.
That's fair. Or anyway, we can look into it. Maybe there's a way you can remote control your computer from your phone.
I don't, again, not okay. I have to repeat it, but with a different person. You have way too much faith in me when it comes to technology.
That's fair. All right.
Because if I was technologically sound, I wouldn't have paid you to set this shit up. I'd have done it myself.
There you go. That's fair. It looked really good, though. I loved your reaction, by the way, and I think that it looks really clean. And I really liked how the podcast has looked in our 2.0 era. And I had fun listening to your guys' commentary on this past Saturday. So that was a good show.
Yeah, it was fun live reacting to AEW again because we stopped kind of doing that for a while, but I just decided this past weekend, I was like, why don't we do it and just see how it goes? And it actually went pretty well. We might bring it back. It's just that, it's, now that they're trying to do monthly pay-per-views, for Sith, it's not that much extra for him because he has HBO Max. So he only pays like $30 per pay-per-view. Whereas me, I don't have HBO Max. I watch on Prime Video and that's $50 per. And so, that kind of adds up after a while. So, we may limit those live reactions to AEW pay-per-views to like the, big shows that have like really good cards or really good matches. Like this one was this is one of the big four. This is their original big four pay-per-views, Full Gear. Because when they first started back in 2019, they only had 4 pay-per-views. It was Revolution, Double or Nothing. What was the other one? It was Full Gear. It was Full Gear, Double or Nothing, Revolution, and it was All Out. I'm sorry, All Out. Those were the 4 that they only did up until 2 years ago when they started adding more pay-per-views to their schedule. And so when they started adding more pay-per-views to their schedule, that's when they started to it started to be like, okay, maybe we shouldn't be doing live reactions for all of these freaking pay-per-views,
Yeah, for sure. All right, with all that being said, we have a full car. I hope that everyone has a great Thanksgiving, and we'll definitely have a big show.
Who I hope doesn't have a good Thanksgiving? The Wizards, because these Bama's still only won 1 game this season.
I know, and that's a great segue, because I was going to mention they did not win a game in the month of November, so they don't get a big billing tonight. I do have to say they almost beat Chicago. But almost
that was their closest they've gotten to a win so far this season. They lost by 1 point to the fucking Bulls. And and they were leading most of that game too. That's what kills me. They led most of that game and yet they still lost. And I'm just
like, celebration by the Bulls players after they won that game. It looked like they won something big, but I think they just didn't want to lose to a 1-win team. So like it was, and like, it was funny because the Bulls star that was being interviewed afterwards on TV was like, "You guys got to calm down. Like, this looks bad. We should not be this hyped for." I mean, I get it. You're getting hyped for a 1-point victory, but like, not against this team. Like, not against the team you should have handled. And so there's the NBA Cup, which is like an in-season tournament that happens.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
We're
now 0-10 in that tournament's history. The Wizards. They have yet to win a tournament game, and this is the 3rd season.
Am I the only one, or I'm probably not the only one who wishes that the Wizards become an expansion team and just move?
Right. Yeah.
Because they're a waste of space in Cap One Arena the way they're going. They're a waste of space.
Maybe they should switch with the Go-Go.
Yeah, bring the Go-Go. Put the Go-Go in Wizards jersey and let's see what happens. And let these professional players go play in the G League and see what happens there. I bet you, like, if you switch them up, you probably see a big difference and a marked improvement on the professional team, while the G League team will probably take a tumble because these guys suck so bad.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty brutal for sure. But yeah,
it's so funny that I joined this podcast as a Wizards roundtable guy, and yet this team is not giving me any reason to talk about them except to say how much they suck.
Yeah, look at this face. This says it all. This is the stuff I saw.
That's the face of every Wizards fan after every game, aside from the one they won back in like September or October.
Yeah, it's been pretty brutal for sure. I'm just thankful we have the Capitals, so we have something positive to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah, thank God. If the Caps suck too, I would just be like, you know what, Robbie, I'm just not doing this podcast anymore. I'll just take my Monday nights and just cry. That's all I'll do.
Exactly. So at least we're hanging on to Ovechkin hat tricks and some wins on their side, and yeah, hopefully that'll carry us through. But the Wizards are pretty brutal. But I hope that everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving, a great time, lots of good football to be had, lots of great food, time with family hopefully as well. And we will definitely have a fun and exciting first podcast of December coming up next week. And then I mentioned earlier on the 8th, we'll be doing an early birthday celebration podcast, as we always do. And then on the 15th will be the last one until we take a 2-week break heading in. That'll be winter break, and then we'll come back on the flip side. And it's weird because we used to come back on the flip side in January, and it used to be the championship game for college football, but now college football has so many more rounds in their tournament, right? So like that doesn't happen until like the end of January, but we will start previewing that. I know I haven't talked a lot of college football, but we'll definitely talk about that a little bit as well. Hopefully the Aggies will continue their positive thing. They've definitely got a game coming up against the dreaded University of Texas. They're big-time rivals. Now they're back in the same division again. And I'm just so scared that Texas is going to spoil the Aggies' perfect season. And so I'm hoping that they're able to hold on in that. And hopefully me even mentioning the Aggies doesn't jinx them. I haven't mentioned them all season long and watch them lose it next week. But the Aggies have been a lot of fun to root for, and another bright spot, at least for me. That game, by the way, against Texas is at Friday the 28th, so it is this week, and it is a 7 o'clock game, it looks like. 7:30 game on ABC. So that'll be a huge game. Right now it's in Texas, but the Aggies are favored by 2.5. The Aggies are 11-0. Texas is 8-3. So obviously Texas needs this win to get into the playoffs. And so both teams have a lot on the line here.
Texas is already bowl eligible, so they're in good shape. But they definitely want to get playoff eligible.
Yeah, exactly. And the but the Aggies want to obviously go in as a top-seeded team, and this will help them. Maybe they've been sort of stuck at 3 for a while, but if they can win that one and the SEC championship game, if they win this one, that will definitely, I think, pole vault them into a top, 1 or 2 spots. So be interesting to see how it goes. Georgia right now is just behind them at 7-1. Mississippi's at 6-1 as well. So a lot of good teams out there. And those are the conference records I was talking about. But yeah, right now Ohio State and Indiana are both 8-0, yeah, they're both tied for first in the Big Ten. So that'll be interesting when those two teams are going to clash as well, and because I assume that they will clash in the Big Ten championship game. And yeah, so a lot of college football stuff. I know it's a big time for college football leading up to Thanksgiving all the way through the bowl season. So we'll definitely cover them a little bit more as we go forward as well. Definitely more college football, less Wizards, in my opinion. Yeah,
because we definitely can't talk about Maryland because Maryland's ass too.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, all right, Champ, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, go Caps, because you're the only thing going in DC sports that's worth watching. Everything else is just what the fuck. But other than that, happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Oh, we just got a raid. There you go. Welcome
there you go.
Penguin Superhero. I really appreciate the raid. I'm sorry, we're just finishing up. But let me see if there's a place that I can bring our party to go forward.
Meanwhile, I'm the starting quarterback for Alabama, and we're kicking the shit out of Clemson in the national championship.
Yeah. We haven't gone and visited Davey in a while. I think that.
Yeah, we gotta go say hi to Davey.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing a music stream, but that's fine. We will go and raid over to him. Let me just pull up this. If you want to grab one of these raid calls that are customized and doing that, we're a big fan of Davey. And I know he was actually lurking last week on the show. So, all right, we got there it is. Let's see. We just got wrapped up at Sports Talk, and now we're ready to vibe with. Okay, all right. I like that one. I'm gonna grab that one. You can grab whatever raid call you want. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the raid, Penguin Superhero. For anyone that doesn't know Penguin, they are fantastic. Oh, and Miko. also actually was the raider. So thank you to Miko as well for that. And here, who is awesome. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and being a part of it. And definitely go check them out as well. We're going to rate out. Go check out the No Spots podcast. Go check out all the podcasts, C4 and Gil and Anna and everybody. Thank you, and Sith, for everyone for being a part of the show. And with that, I will see you next week with Champ and Gil and C4 and maybe other friends as well. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Gokigenyo. Sayonara.